Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, I'm going to be continuing my exploration into Emberblade Fai tonight. I'm 16 games into Emberblade Fai, this list that I've been working on. I've made a couple of changes over, the week, and I'm sitting at 11-5 right now through 16 games, so winning about, a little over 66% of the games that I've played so far, which is, it's a pretty good win rate, all things considered, but I'm looking to continue to work on the deck and help it grow. And kind of move forward from there. So I'm hoping to see if we can get some better use out of Wax on tonight. I'm really hoping that like a 0 for 5 in the Ninja matchup can really give you some some big help going into that matchup. Hey Max, what's going on, buddy? How are you? I actually had somebody suggest to me the other day playing the chess piece in the matchup for the Ninja matchup, the Blazing Yoroi, or however you pronounce that card. And I'm gonna be honest, just to kind of be blunt with you guys, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that card's good. I don't like that card. I don't think it's good at all. I'm not a big fan of Blazing Yoroi at all. I just don't think it really it's too easy to be played around, in my opinion. So I'm just not a big fan of that card. It's not like a tech card that I really want to be playing. Which is funny because when Fai was really big, Belittle Fai, back in January, I played Blazing Yoroi for the mirror. But it's very easy to just break the chain and then snatch and play around it. So you can kind of just keep playing around it and keep being I don't know. It's too easy to play. It's too easy to play around Blazing Yoroi and not really get the value out of it. So I'm just not a big fan of that card. I'm really hoping that we're gonna get some value out of Wax Off. Or Wax On tonight, Wax On, Wax Off, whichever it's called. I think it's called Wax On. I'm really hoping to see if we can get some value out of that. And then the other big thing that I wanted to, really take a moment and mention is that moving forward, every week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be posting a members only poll on YouTube every Friday afternoon. And that poll is going to list 4 or 5 decks. And it's going to be, I'm going to let members pick what I'm going to be testing and playing the next week. Now, I'm going to be picking, certain, 3 to 4 decks or whatever that people can pick from. But I'm going to let members choose what I'll be playing going into the following week. So you guys are going to start having say-so into what I'm playing. And, we'll talk about the list and break it down. And then, you'll get to see gameplay all week on that deck and what I'm looking at. So if you guys like my content, you watch my content, and you've been thinking about becoming a member of the channel and supporting me, then I'm hoping this is maybe your sign to go ahead and jump in to do that, because I want to be as interactive as I can with you guys, and I want to build a community in a great way. And I think this is a way to really show my members that I really appreciate all the support that they give. Members go above and beyond, to help actually put money into my channel and make it a better experience for everybody. So moving forward, starting tomorrow, every week, members are going to be able to pick what actually gets played on my channel. So I wanted to talk about that before we jump into the games. Yeah, your Roy is bad. Flamescale all day long. Dude, absolutely. Flamescale is where it's at. I think Flamescale is just strictly better all the way around, personally. Bobby, are you in the chat, buddy? Are you wanting to play some games? I know you had mentioned wanting to play games at the start of the stream. I didn't know if you were in here before I actually jumped into games and started playing and stuff. Hey, it's a Bobby boy. All right, well, I got a game made. I'm going to go ahead and make it. It's a public game here, so you can jump in whenever you're ready. Bobby has been testing the Dashio list from Melbourne last weekend, so... So I'm hoping to, we're hoping to I'm going to start off the stream by playing a couple games against Bobby and really trying to see how that matchup plays out. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. So I guess I'm still going to go second into him. I think we still want to go second. All right, let's see what we have for Dashio. So against Dashio, we have our 57 card main deck, and we bring in the 3 Sink Belows. I like Sink Below because it's just a value card that kind of helps play into the value game plan that we have here. So, and we're going to be on Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, which is what I have been told is correct. I still don't know how I feel about that. I'm a pretty firm believer in using Mask of Momentum to really try and punish Dash, but we'll see what we can make happen. Bobby plays a Teklo-Core and passes. I mean, this is a pretty good hand for us, so I think that's perfectly fine. Just got back from my local armory, went second on Azuri, so close to that, to the cold foil, the gun, to the symbiosis shot. Dude, the cold foil weapons are really cool. What did you lose to, Max, in the finals? Let's see what we can do here. I mean, since we're on Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, if Bobby's just not going to block at all, then we can just probably go ahead and use our Mask of the Pouncing Lynx here and just try to have like a big turn. I mean, if he lets, 4 or 5 of these hit, then I mean, if he lets 3 hit and the Phoenix Flame, then we can like get some pretty good value out of this here. He's let the first 2 hit. I'm curious to see if he also lets the 3rd one hit. Now, he probably noticed that we're playing Mask of the Pouncing Lynx here instead of actually playing Mask of Momentum. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Bobby just wanted the value block there. Let's just Arsenal the Rabble here, and let's like wait for a better turn and see if we can come up with something better here. I'm just going to take 4. I'm looking at my hand just to make sure here. It looks like we're looking at Rise from the Ashes. And then we're going to go Brand for 6. Rabble. Yeah, we'll just take 5. Bobby would have played... I mean, I guess he could have had a Boom Grenade off the top here. He hasn't activated Dashio's ability yet. Yeah, we'll just block with Scalers and go to 30. I lost to Dragons, but it was very close. It's good that it was close, man, because I know that like the assassin pool, like the hero pool, struggles into Dromai. So if you're playing a close game in the Dromai, man, like that, I feel like that speaks pretty highly of you, like as a player. So I think that's pretty good, man. I think that's pretty good. So let's lead on Rise from the Ashes, get a Phoenix Flame. We're gonna go Bram with Cinderclaw for 6. The adaptive plating, I'm curious to see how good that is here. Oh. Poop. Sorry. I guess I need to get value out of this being Draconic. Sink Below on top is pretty good for us. Went to 1 life each. I mean, dude, like, Azuri's a really strong deck, especially into, like, the aggro decks. And Azuri is also, like, I mean, I think that, like, Dromai's probably Azuri's worst matchup, if I had to guess. Like, if I had to guess, wouldn't call myself an Azuri aficionado by any means, but I would say that that's probably, like, Dromai's your worst matchup. Is that accurate, Max, or do you feel like something else has a like, you have a worse matchup into something else? I'm kind of intrigued to snap here. Like, if I snap here, let's just take the Arsenal card, I guess. I don't know. Well, no, we knew it was a Sink Below, so we didn't want to snap there, actually. Bobby plays a Boom Grenade off the top, decides not to crank, and then plays a Teklo-Core. Okay, so... This is not a great hand. This is not a great hand. Phoenix Flame, activate Emberblade, pitch Sink Below, and Warmonger's Diplomacy. And then activate Fai, and we get to have a 0, 4, hopefully 4, and then Phoenix Flame for 2 because of Shuko, so it's a 6-point offensive turn with a Sink Below and Arsenal. I mean, I don't really see another option here for us. Like, looking at this hand, it feels like that's like kind of the option that we have here. So we're just gonna take the play here. Yeah, it's a pretty bad matchup, but Dromai is really good at losing to random stuff sometimes. I mean, that's fair. That is very, very fair. If Bobby has a really good hand, I mean, he might just say like no blocks and like just try to push the damage. He does have a boom grenade and a Teklo core, so he could very well he could have like a really strong hand here. This is for 2. Warmongers is great against IO. Yeah, so Warmongers is really good, but they're probably only on like 15 to 16 items as a whole, right? Like, I mean, it's not like it's insane. Am I just using Mask to let Salt the Wound be an extra 5 points here? I think so. Like, if we get Salt and Wound out, it's literally just 5 extra points. I mean, I think we're just going to take the value off of it, and just, like, Bobby wants to keep his hand, and so we're just going to try and push the tempo as much as we can here. So, trying to make something happen. But yeah, Warmongers is definitely good into... it's definitely good, like Pedicera, it's definitely good into them. I just think that... I don't know. I just think that maybe the Warmongers so if I keep the Warmongers, I go Phoenix Flame for 0, Rabble for 4, into play Warmongers Diplomacy, activate Furnace with the Sink Below. I don't know. It feels like a pretty weak hand. Hey, Adya, what's going on? Warmongers is Nuts versus Dash. If they keep a full hand, 9 out of 10 chance they have a Tome, Octane, or Spark in their turn cycle. I mean, that's very fair. I also so my thought process here is that Bobby might just be but I think we're just so far ahead that Bobby's hand doesn't necessarily have to be insanely good. Bobby could just have a hand that actually attacks and puts on some pressure here. And so maybe his hand is just good attacks. I'm going to hang on to my Sink Below here, if I can. I was I think Bobby's got something big coming here. At least that's what I think. Also, can't activate Heart if their resources are tight. So, I mean, so do you guys think that... that playing Warmongers was better than throwing 9 at Bobby that turn? That's a genuine question. Only way I think I had a chance to claw back in. Bobby was saying that he felt like taking the damage and having a big turn was probably, he said he felt like it was the only way for him to really claw back into the game. I'm gonna put the Flying Kick on the bottom here. I mean, that's fine. Just gonna go 17 here. Nope, pushing damage was more optimal. Okay, Cheats is on the push damage train there. In that previous hand, exactly, I would probably just swing the blade, cause low damage. Other hands, I'm more inclined to play it. Okay, gotcha, Adja. So you're saying you wouldn't have played it there, but you would have in other situations. You're saying it's not bad to play in certain spots. Okay, I got you. That makes sense. Not in a specific scenario, given how ahead you are, but it can be a useful tempo pivot. In this hand, it's weak. No blocking gives this feeling as high octane output. I'd push damage. See, okay, so all right, so it sounds like everybody's on the same wavelength here. That everybody wanted to push damage in that spot. It definitely sounds like everybody wanted to push damage in that spot. Oh, whoa, what? I see you guys were just pointing out that it can have some very beneficial use against Dash. And I think I'm gonna play a game or two against Bobby here. So there might very well be a shot where like if we're forced to go first next game, we end up in a spot where like we want to block more effectively. Or like we want to like if like we need to take a turn off and like block a little bit and then play Warmonger's Diplomacy as like a pivot tool. Like I think that totally makes sense. Especially like Justin said, if we're going to stop a high octane tome turn, like it's absolutely insane. Shake it off, shake it off. I've had this song stuck in my head for the last couple weeks.
Let's freaking go. You love to see it.
Yo, Synthetic One, thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you being a part of the stream. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. You a big Flesh and Blood player? Also, guys, I don't know, like, I know a lot of people, like, watch me on YouTube, and, like, there's, like, so, like, you know, some people watch me on Kick, and some people watch me on Twitch. Like, Twitch, I don't know if everybody saw it or not. I tweeted about this today. Twitch finally set it up to where Flesh and Blood is its own category, like, its own card game category on Twitch. And so, like, now Flesh and Blood has its own category. And, like, I'm now really excited, because now that means Kick and Twitch now has their own Flesh and Blood category, which is, like, really cool. Like, I think that's like very exciting and a very positive step for the game in like a very good direction. I'm super excited about that. Feels like Flesh and Blood is picking up a lot of traction in a very positive way. Bobby said he's thinking here. Perfect time to read the chat. Lupine Fiasco said something about using Emberblade plus Mask of Momentum in this matchup to pressure them to interact with us, since racing won't work if they have the nuts. So, Audia, that makes a lot of sense. So the funny part is, this is actually like Lupine's I took his list originally when I was going to work on an Emberblade Fai list, because I really like his stuff and I think he's an extremely intelligent player. But I was boom grenade, huh? But he actually had his sideboard guide set up to have Mask of the Pouncing links in. So I also thought that it was going to be better to play Momentum into Dash. I just feel like it's so much more consistent. Like, you can just like kind of bully Dash in a lot of ways. So I like that. Mask of Momentum is a very serious thing to like run into Dash, in my opinion. Yo, Calamari, hope I'm saying that right. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being a part of the channel. Are you also a big Flesh and Blood player? Let's see. Synthetic One says, I watch you on YouTube a fair amount. Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate you showing me love on multiple platforms, man. That means a lot. I appreciate that a bunch. So Bobby can go to 1 and give us an arsenal here. I was like, or he's just going to give us both cards, which I think is like the better play here. Ew, this hand's not great. A blocking there is fine in my opinion. I think we're still getting both the hards, both of a lot of Bobby's cards out of his hand. Hope it brings more players. I really hope it brings in more players. Petacera, that they have their own categories now. It was just updated less than 24 hours ago. Yeah, I saw that Flesh and Blood tweeted it like this morning or something like that. Haha, not very big, but saw you streaming on YouTube and decided to drop a follow. Your channel seems cool. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I appreciate the love, man. So this takes a card. This takes a card. We're going to leave Bobby with 1 card, basically. This does not take a card because it's for 1. Bobby can go to 1 here. This is his last point to play with here. Dashio feels really rough in aggro races, more likely to brick given the item count, but the ceiling is crazy high. So it's funny, Justin, that you say that, because Bobby and I were talking about this matchup before like our games today. We were talking about this like probably 2 or 3 hours ago. We were texting back and forth a little bit, and when we were texting about it, I had made the same comment to him that I felt like this is an interesting hand. We'll just start with Rabble Babble. That I felt like Dashio could have some really awkward hands, and that like if like Dash drew too many items or like got in an awkward spot, like that it just kind of felt like Fai would like run her over a little bit. And I told him that's exactly how I felt about the matchup, and that I was worried that from his point of view he might not have enough blocking cards to just like stay in the game. Like just like that, like Bobby had an item. Now don't get me wrong, he was Omega dead there anyway. We had all the tempo and we were up like 15-1. We were definitely gonna win that game there, but I mean, all right, so we won the first game. Let me pull up my thing here really quick. My Bobby, he's playing Dash IO. We went second and we won, and now I can copy everything. Keeping up with my spreadsheet here, my log of all the games that I'm playing here. This is an interesting hand. I've had a nightmare where the gun triggers bomb grenades. Oh, dude, Max. Bro, you're like trying to live in another world right there, man. Where the gun can hit boom grenade. Also, it changed limited so much. It would make limited such a different animal, in my opinion. So I could go 5 go again here. Let's think about our line here. We have a couple of options. If I go E-Strike, put Lava Burst.
Freaking go.
Yo.
Love to see it.
Pedro with the sub on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the channel. Tell me about yourself. What's your name? Where you from? You love Flesh and Blood? Or you just randomly find me one day? So E-Strike, put Lava Burst on the bottom, go again. Into Ravenous Rabble. Arsenal Flame Call Awakening is a 7 to 9 point turn.
You love to see it.
Yo, the Bryce Eric. I hope I'm saying that. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you being a part of the channel. What's your name? Where you from? Tell me about yourself. You love Flesh and Blood or what? The other option we have here is play Rabble. So Rabble is again 2 to 4 pitch Lava Burst to play Flame Call Awakening. So that's now a 5 to 7 point turn, and then we have 5 draw cards, so that's 12 points and an arsenal. It's a random arsenal though over the Flame Call Awakening, which I think is just a little bit better there. So I think that's the play we're gonna go with. Boo! So it ends up being a 10 point turn instead of a 12 point turn, but still not bad. I legit saw a Fai deck for sale for a good price today, and since I'm a chain orphan who's been thinking about buying a more competitive deck, decided to check out some Fai info, because there's only one guy playing it at my regular store. I've been rocking Vincetted Armories, but only like once a month. I mean, dude, Fai's a great hero to get into. Fai offers a lot of like really solid gameplay and like has some like actually pretty like intricate lines. And I like that you can play Fai either with the Emberblade or with Kodachis, however you feel, you know, that's best served. I've been playing Kodachis and Alexi meta, but now I'm more focused on playing playing Emberblade because I think it's faster and I think that's like more appealing. Also, it's worth noting that I drew a card there because I did shuffle off of the Flame Call Awakening, so I knew I wasn't going to draw the blue that I didn't want there. What do you usually track in your log other than heroes and win-loss? So Adya, So here, I'll just like, well, Bobby's like taking the beginning of his turn here. Here's what I do. So I have what I'm playing. I have the week that I'm playing it on. I have what I'm playing. I have if I'm playing against Talishar people or if I'm playing against people that I actually know. I have my hero that I'm playing against. I have whether I went first or second, whether I won or lost. And then I make like pretty like, I try to make some good notes over here. And I know that some of this is like skewed by what you're seeing on my screen. But I try to make good notes about like, you know, like why I won or why I lost or kind of like, you know, what happened over the course of the game. And I think that like actually kind of like really helps me out in a lot of spots. I mean, 2 boom grenades is a lot, and that can give Bobby a lot of tempo here. I just don't think we're going to be able to block it all. But if we do block 6, we can block 8 basically. And if Bobby breaks a chain, we're in a decent spot. So if we block the 6 here, we can go 3/3/3 into activate Phoenix Flame. I mean, that's not terrible. Maybe I'm just supposed to take the 2 boom grenades. I just hate taking 7 extra damage. So I'm going to force Bobby to actually have it here. I'm going to force Bobby to actually come at it with us. It's not even the items not blocking that I'd be hesitant about. The damage consistency feels like it would be too erratic. Just like what I've seen in Glass, haven't tested much into it. So yeah, Justin, I honestly, man, like this is kind of like my testing into Dash.io to see how it feels. Bobby's playing the list from Melbourne, and we're like trying, or Melbourne, I guess is the better way to say that. And we're trying to figure out like kind of how this feels and kind of what's going on. Ravenous Babble. I love that. I love that name. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for hanging out on Twitch. Tell me about yourself. What's your name? Where you from? You love Flesh and Blood? I hate just going to 28 like that. But I think this, like, being able to throw Emberblade is pretty solid here, I think, in my opinion. How's this matchup feeling? So Ravenous Babble, we're 1 game in so far. We won the first game against Bobby. We were able to go second and get a lot of early tempo. Now we went second here, but our hand wasn't that great. So
You love to see it.
I think, you know, these two or 3 games tonight are really going to tell us a lot kind of about how I feel about it and like where it's going and like, you know, and just the matchup as a whole. So I'm kind of hoping to get some more info as the night goes on. XAHJK. I have no idea if there's a way you pronounce that, but thank you for following. Tell me about yourself. What's your name? Where you from? You love Flesh and Blood? That's like my generic answer I'm going with here. Or like question, I guess. Let's see. So this is number 3. So this is about to be max velocity, I think. No? Bobby cracked Goliath Gauntlet? Hang on. Bobby literally didn't use Goliath Gauntlet at all. Like, I don't understand. Bobby literally didn't use his Goliath Gauntlet at all. He just broke it and didn't even use it, so I'm very confused. Of course, I like Fab. Lol, I'm from New Jersey. Kind of sort of content creator. Small, though. I've been playing a lot of Fai recently, but usually in Azuri main. Dude, that's awesome. Do you stream on Twitch, or like do you make YouTube videos, or what do you do, man? Dude, I'm always looking for more Flesh and Blood content to take in. So dude, if you're a content creator, man, I was like, dude, I'll look you up. You're on YouTube? Yeah, dude, I'll definitely look you up after this. I was planning on using Arsenal, but the top card lets me know I should play next turn. Also, I wasn't expecting you to let Zipper hit. Okay, so Bobby made a decision and then ended up deciding that his top card, he wanted to wait and use it. So Bobby should have waited on the Goliath Gauntlet because there's no reason he doesn't care about the chain breaking. So he definitely should have just waited there. That's good to know, though. That's good to know. Okay, so we're just gonna use Mask here to like kind of like take our bigger turn. Let's see. So Lava Burst is 6 and Salt the Wound is now also for 6, but Salt the Wound has the potential to grow to be more. So we're just gonna go ahead and activate Fai. This is gonna be for 1. Bobby takes this, knowing that he's giving up 2 points intentionally. Interesting. Bobby must have the max V turn. He's got to. It's the only reason he would take this much damage. He's got to have like a 30-point turn here. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Ugh. This hand's kind of awkward. I mean, although I guess this hand blocks 7, plays Warmonger's Diplomacy and Arsenal's Art of War, so it gives us an opportunity to set up here a little bit. Though with Fab on Twitch, I might have to look into it. Dude, yeah, Flesh and Blood getting its own card game today, like getting its own category on Twitch was like, it's so big for the game. Like, it's awesome. I've loved watching this game grow. Like, just over the last couple years that like I've been playing. I've been playing 2 years in February. And I've loved watching the game grow so much. Like, the game has come such a long way. And like such a short amount of time, and it's amazing because like everything I know about the game is awesome. Like all the people, like the cards, like LSS is amazing. Like, so it's just like, just everybody. Like, it's just great all the way around and top to bottom. Honestly, I will give up my equipment here if I have to stop this boom grenade from going off. I'm just hoping that I'm actually able to actually stop it from going off. I'm not going to be able to, though. That's boost. Yeah, this is going to be bad. I might just be putting the Art of War on the bottom, hoping I find something that blocks here. I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, God. Oh, God. That was terrible. I feel like that's like God laughing at me. So if I take 14 and go to 9, I mean, I think it's what we have to do here. Bobby has his turn, and he gets to pistol me 3 times here. Man, this is really bad for us. I'm just gonna go to 5 here. I guess technically staying at 5 like kind of keeps me in a little bit of a better position. Not sure. What's up? I'm from upstate New York. My name is pronounced Zajik. Zajik, am I saying that right? I appreciate you telling me how that's pronounced, and I apologize if that's actually your name and I wasn't aware of how to pronounce that. I apologize, but I appreciate you informing me and letting me know. Zajik, that's actually a really cool name. I love Fab, been playing since Arcane. I'm working on Teklovossin currently. Dude, Teklovossin's sweet. Teklovossin's really cool. Like, I really like Teklovossin. I think it has a hard Dromai matchup from what everybody tells me that I know. So I'm like kind of hesitant on like whether I want to dive in on Teklovossin, because I really don't like decks that lose to Dromai. I get tired of losing to Dromai. So hopefully Bobby's hand is awkward. Man, our hand's awkward. Ugh. Good lord. Hell yeah, I started playing like 2 weeks after PT New Jersey last year. Was a big oof on that timing once I realized how much I like the game. I get that, dude. I get that. Went to Baltimore, though, so that made up for it. Dude, that's awesome. That's cool that you got to go to Baltimore. I was like, yeah, so I went to a ProQuest during ProQuest Season 1, actually, like in, like January or whatever of 2022. Oh my gosh! We're seeing the downfall of me playing no blocks right now. So, actually, we're gonna have to do it this way. So there's one there. We're just going to have to go buff and banish, and I'm not going to pick buff and block from Arsenal because that is technically a no block, and I can't block with it, so... This is bad. Bobby's about to get us. Had so many Dromais at my local for a while. There's quite a few people that play Dromai where I'm from, so I, like, really try to stay away from decks that, like, just straight up lose to Dromai. I don't know what Bobby just tried to do. I'm really confused. I don't know what just happened. The card play is restricted. I'm just going to take 2 here. And then we take 1 and go to 2. And then Bobby kills us here with the gun. Ugh. Sage. So back-to-back Phoenix Flames right there, like really costing us the game. That was a good one. Man. We played 4 turns and lost. So Bobby had back-to-back turns that totaled 35 points. and we had a 29 point over. We had 29 points over 2 turns. So I think ultimately that's where Bobby got us. Yeah, I think that's just I just think that's where Bobby got us there 100%. I can't remember what I was saying. I was talking about something. Oh yeah. I went to New Jersey, and that was like my first big tournament with like my buddies and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed going to New Jersey. It was a lot of fun, but I learned a lot about that format and like that whole like tournament structure as a whole. Like I learned a lot about Flesh and Blood that weekend. It was really cool to like get to go and see everything and like, you know, be a part of that. But I learned that there was still a lot I had to learn about the game because I've been playing for about 3 months at that point. And then we went to Baltimore this year. I didn't get to go to France for PT2, and I didn't get to go to LA for Worlds, or not LA, San Jose. And then LA is going to be the Pro Tour 4. And then went to Nats this past year and had a lot of fun. So like I've played, I gotta change the record. I forgot to update the record. So I've played a lot of Flesh and Blood, and I met a lot of really cool people. Like the game's awesome, and I'm really excited to like see it continue to grow. Honestly, I'm a deck builder, so I love the challenge. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I honestly, I tip my hat to you for that, because I cannot build decks to save my life. Hey, Rabble wasn't for 2, so I'd call that a win. We've had 1 Rabble for 4, 2 Rabbles for 2, and a Rabble for 3 tonight. So we're about on pace. About on pace tonight. Bop 'em. That's right, Ben. Bop 'em. Yeah, dude. Like I'm always really impressed by people that like know how to like build decks well. Like, and I say that like in all sincerity. Like, it's always super impressive to me, to people who can like build decks and like just look at cards and be like, oh, these will play well together. Like, and some are more obvious than others, but like, I don't know. Like, I was never really good at deck building when I played Magic. Like, I'm not really good at like, you know, like building like unique decks when it comes to like Flesh and Blood either. So like, it's a lot of fun for me. Like, it's when somebody's like, hey, I've been working on this deck. Like, I think this deck's really good. Like, will you try it? And I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. Like, yeah, like I'll play it. Like, heck yeah. Like, and then it's like, you walk me through a little bit of the concept, and then from there, I'm able to take that and run with it a little bit and like try to figure my own way through it. I really like that. I really enjoy that. Like, that's like figuring out what other people have put together is like the big joy for me, I would say. Bobby has to go to 26 here if he wants to take this. So if I snap and use Mask, it puts like I get a Salto win for 5, which I don't think is worth, if I'm just being honest. Bobby didn't return anything. He has no cards in his graveyard. The chain's not broken yet. Yeah. I was like, Bobby didn't realize the chain hadn't closed, so that's Bobby definitely didn't want to do that yet. He wants to let the chain close, and then he wants to return. Like, now, when we go to end the turn, that's when he's going to do it. What is he getting back here? A twin drive? Okay, so he's got a blue. And the crazy part's like, my hand's just like actually really good. I don't know if I want to give up all my cards to block with or not. Like, my hand doesn't block specifically well, so I'm curious. Like, this is interesting here. I don't know. Yo, same here. I can't build a deck from scratch to save my life, but tuning and piloting decks is my jam. Dude, Audia, I completely get that. Like, that is like 100% how I feel about like games as a whole. You know what? I'm going to take the value block here. I'm just going to take the value block. Oh, Bobby didn't boost. I completely missed that. So Bobby's trying to set up here. Okay, so that's even better for us. I did not notice that Bobby did not boost. Had I been like really paying attention, I would have noticed that. But just me like kind of being a boob right there, like talking to the chat and playing fast, and like just, you know, you do things like that. And sometimes you skip over things. Okay. All right, Bobby's giving me both pieces of the equipment here. Bobby also played Adaptive Plate in game 1, and he's now playing Goliath Gauntlet last game and this game. I'm curious to see how that pans out. Ew. So, hear me out here. This is going to be an interesting line. Now, obviously, it all depends on what Bobby does. But we have the line of play Snatch, pitch the Phoenix Flame as a reaction to banish Art of War for +1/+1 and banish the Ronin Renegade, and then snap to hit and draw a card. I think that's actually a really sweet line here, and we can like try to make some cool stuff happen there. I think Bobby should have definitely drawn cards and seen if there was an item on top of his deck before he popped these accelerators there. I think that was a little bit of a misstep because he could have saved those for later if he wanted to. He might just have the combo rolled up though. Like he went boost there, which tells me he's probably just got it here. So,
Go. You love to
well, if you ever want an off the wall deck, whenever I get inspired, I just build decks. Yeah, Jazik, dude, that'll Jazik. I hope I'm saying that right. All right, like I hope I'm saying that right. Dude, yeah, like I'm all about playing like weird decks, man. So like if something like if there's ever like an off night or something like that, man. Like I don't know if you have Twitter or not, dude. I was like, but if you do, like shoot me a follow and like I'll follow you back. And then like if there's ever like a night where like I don't have something planned or I'm not testing for something, then like I'll definitely like I'll shoot you a message and try to see and see if like there's something we can like a deck we can get going. Fighting Walloon, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the Twitch family. What's your name? Where are you from? And do you love Flesh and Blood? All right, so we're going to lead on the Snatch here because this play like really incentivizes Bobby to give card and heart here instead of just giving 2 cards. Now, if Bobby's stream sniping me, he could just give me 2 cards here. But Bobby's generally pretty good about not stream sniping me and just like actually like trying to like play the game here. So he said he's thinking. So he's in the tank about whether he should give me 1 card or 2 here. You should go first next game to see how much impact first versus second has in this. That's actually really not a bad idea at all. Justin, I actually really like the idea of knowing that. We'll see if Bobby has time to play multiple games or not. So heads up call by Bobby. So now we get to decide here. I mean, I get to go 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9 more points after this, which means Bobby probably goes to 18 if I had to guess, and he gets to save his block, which is actually like pretty heads up of him. But I can also just play my Art of War here if I wanted to and try to get value out of it. Let's wait for a better turn with some more blues and try to make a better turn out of it. This is a little greedy of me, but I think that this is like ultimately just a better play. And we can try to be a little bit more patient here and get what we're looking for out of this hand. Sure, what's your Twitter? It's Agroblaze. So I don't think the 9-6 is on there. I think it's just Agroblaze. I think I made it before I added the 96. There were certain like platforms that I could use 96 on and certain ones that were already taken. So like on like it might be Agroblaze 96. I'm not sure exactly. Ooh, this hand's interesting. And by interesting, I mean terrible. We're definitely going to use Think Below here to try and bail us out a little bit. I've loved Flesh and Blood. You forced me to stream snipe. I don't believe that you stream snipe me for a second. You can get out of here with your garbage, Nathaniel. Do we have an item here? We do not have an item here. I don't think I'm going to play around Boom Grenade. I think I'm just going to play the Sink Below here and put a Flame Call Awakening on the bottom. And hope to find something pretty good. I mean... And then Bobby's going to play Dissolving Shield. Crank and then shoot me. So we go to 16. We have 2 Phoenix Flames here. So this is kind of an interesting decision. I think I'm going to go Mounting Anger, then Flamecall Awakening, play the Artivore as a reaction, banishing the Phoenix Flame and picking +1/+1 and go again, and try to take a turn from there. I know it's like we're missing a point on the Mounting Anger, but I think it's like a more up-tempo style play. I think we can try to make that happen. And if we draw blue, we have Emberblade. And depending on like what we draw here, like we have some interesting lines. And plus, Bobby's not expecting the Artivore at all from here, which is like pretty good for us, I would say. John from Indianapolis. I've been playing since Monarch. Love the local community in the game, but I'm not very competitive. Dude, nothing wrong with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I am a hyper-competitive human being in general, almost with everything. My fiance would tell you that that's not a great thing. Sometimes she hates that about me. But, dude, I get that. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, not being super competitive. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, John. Dude, I was like I know a lot of people who love Flesh and Blood on a very casual level, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, personally. But man, welcome to the channel. Thanks for hanging out, and buddy, I'm glad you love Flesh and Blood, man. I tell everybody, like, Flesh and Blood's amazing. I hope the game always continues to grow. I hope it's always a lot of fun, and I hope it's always growing. So we're definitely just going to go ahead and pop Mask here. So Bobby's going to use the Dissolving Shield here. So Bobby's going to have 1 left. And then we're going to come in for 2 here. And if Bobby takes 1 and goes to 7, it will turn on our Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, which will actually be insane. And allow us to activate our Tiger Stripe Shuko all in 1 turn here, which there's so much value in. Like, it's such a... There's just so much value in that for us. Like, it's great. Boo. Look at Bobby making the good plays. Boo. Oh. I give Bobby a hard time. Bobby is a fantastic player. Like, Bobby is a really good Flesh and Blood player. That's an interesting line. Using Artivore before would be a gamble if you wanted to keep Awakening. So that's kind of why I wanted to use that line, is that I don't know how I feel about trying to, like, gamble away my cards that I know have value. I think I'd rather just try and play the hand that I know works and then hope that my next 2 cards are pretty good. And it worked out for me that they were actually pretty sweet. Ooh, Bobby gets a Dissolving Shield. Bobby and this Dissolving Shield nonsense. Listen, if Bobby doesn't stop making good plays, like... So then we're going to go to 10 here. Bobby's going to have... Or no, I'm sorry. We're going to go to 8. Bobby had 1 more action point left. Oh, he went down to 1 and then went back up to 2 when he boosted that turn. So yeah, that actually makes sense. Bobby had a pretty good turn there. So I'm gonna have to see, like, how many things hit here. Like, what we're looking at here. Like, Bobby gets to use the Dissolving Shield here pretty effectively. Like, which is really good for him, I would say. Emberblade for 3. It's definitely looking like we're going to use Mask to go get a... We're definitely going to be using Mask to go get a Lava Burst here whenever that opportunity presents itself. Yep. Bobby uses Dissolving Shield. We've played 3 things. Let's just go ahead and activate this. This is for 2, Bobby Boy, and you cannot use Dissolving Shield to prevent this here, which is actually kind of clean for us. You like to see that. And then this is for 4. Bobby'd have to give a card and use a Dissolving Shield counter here to stop this, which I think would be a very wise play from Bobby, especially if he doesn't have anything great to do with his turn. So we're only up 3 points. If Bobby does, so he's just going to throw the pistol here. I Sorry. Let's think about this for a second. Like, I feel like looking at this, like, there's kind of just an easier line and an obvious play here, which just says, like, keep all my cards and just attack here, but I also don't want to be a boob, and I want to make sure that we're making the right plays here. Bobby sucks. Blake Riddle 2021. Well, you know, everything Blake says is fact, so there it is. Not. So if I block with Bram with Cinderclaw, I stay at 8. Bobby arsenals his card, and then my turn is basically non-functioning. If I go to 6, my turn is Brand, Emberblade, Activate, Fai, Phoenix Flame for 1, Blaze Headlong for 4, Lava Burst for 6. So I think going to 6 is like the only correct decision here. So yeah, I think that's like the only real play is to just keep my whole hand. I have to have the Bram with Cinderclaw to start my turn, and I have to have the Bram with Cinderclaw to be able to go get my Phoenix Flame so that I can turn on my Blaze Headlong, which allows me to use my Lava Burst for the Rupture Chain Link. Two because of Shuko here. I'm honestly tempted just to use Mask here. Because I don't... One more after this to see if we go 2-2 overall. I mean, Bobby's already talking about it like I've won the game, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, so we're going to use Mask here. We're going to get a Lava Burst. We're going to come in with Blaze Headlong. I've got 2 items, so you should easily kill me. Oh, so... Okay, so Bobby is just dead here. Bobby's just super dead here. With the 2 items, that'll definitely get him. I'm gonna make a new lobby here, and I gotta get my deck list. Deck list. Copy deck link to clipboard. Blah, 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 blah. Bobby boy. And let's hit create game here. We'll go ahead and click on Dashio. End of turn, grab Phoenix for 0. Headlong. End of turn, grab Phoenix, and then you Phoenix for 0. Headlong, Emberblade, if anything hits Pouncing Links for Double Strike or Double Strike Lava Burst. So I don't actually have Double Strike in my list anymore. Since I'm on the Emberblade plan, I do not have Double Strike on my list because I'm more focused on playing Mask of the Pouncing Links. But that would have been a very good line, Adya, if I had the actual... If I actually had Double Strike on my list, that'd be a really solid line, actually. This hand's kind of cool. I actually really like this hand. Like, we'll actually get a neat choice here. I'll actually get an interesting choice here. Because Bobby's just going to block effectively. Now we're going to throw Mounting Anger at him, and we're going to see what he does. Because now I get to activate Fai for free. We're going to banish the Phoenix Flame. It's going to be for 2. Bobby gives his last card, and so we're actually going to throw the Snatch here and see if he gives me Heart and Crown. This is, like, kind of neat here. He's already complaining about me having the Snatch. Oh. He said pretty good turn 1. I mean, to be fair, I'm not disagreeing with him. That was like a very strong turn for me. I do not disagree in the slightest. That was a very good play for me. I dealt 5 to him, and I'm starting with a 5-card hand, so pretty good there. That's right, Nathaniel. The old rising resentment. The old 1-for-4 rising resentment, you see? I see. I still run one of my Emberblade lists just in case I had finishers already. So, Adya, that actually is a really cool thought. I've never considered that, but I do like that idea. Like playing a 1-of double strike just to have as a fetch target is actually pretty clean. Yeah, I actually really like that the more we're talking about it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I might try that. I might test that out. So Bobby having Dissolving Shield, like, this seems like a really cool item into me. Oh, I forgot to update the record. Gosh, man, if I do that, y'all gotta, like, smack my hand and let me know. Dude, I'm, like, all over the place right now. Ronin Renegade of Vol 6. Oh. He's gonna steal it? I'm gonna steal what? What are you going on about, fool? You talking about me stealing the 1-of double strike idea? Yeah, I totally might steal that. Like that's a really good idea. I think that's actually like a super clean idea. I would 100% steal that idea and try it. So Bobby's just on the blocking train here. Oh. I guess I'm just gonna go draw a card here. I want to try and stay on an arsenal if I can. So yes, the old 0 for 2 go again. You love to see it. You love to see it. Now Bobby's back on adaptive plating. Interesting. So Bobby only takes 2 there. And I'm just going to arsenal the old rabble babble here. Well, one of these cards is not like the other. So this is clearly like one of the lava veins is a block 3. We get to go Rising, Searing, activate Fai, Phoenix Flame for 1. We did keep a Phoenix Flame, right? I was like, God, please don't tell me I made that mistake. So Phoenix Flame for 1 into Rabble Babble into Snatch. I mean, that's not too shabby. I'm just going to take 6 here and it's like just hope Bobby's not going to like play a boom grenade off the top. Again, Dissolving Shield looking pretty good here. Like Bobby getting the value plays here. We also just get to use our Lava Vein loyalty as a way to trigger Shuko this turn now, so that's also pretty cool. Let's start with the old head jab here. I could have started with Ravenous Rabble, but I would have just went Ravenous Rabble into Rising Resentment, so I don't really see a reason. I'm just going to try and hold the Rabble as long as I can here. Considering there's 2 blues in my hand, statistically, I am pretty likely to not have a blue on top. But, you know what they say about statistics. I don't know what they say about statistics. I know that, like, I hit 0 for 2 Rabble a lot, so how about that for a statistic? Got anything on the game tonight? Don't think either of us have any players tonight. So I don't have any players tonight. I don't have any players tonight in any of the 3 fantasy leagues I'm in tonight, actually, Ben. But I do have like a 3-leg parlay tonight. That's like not ridiculous. Like it's a small parlay that hopefully hits, and it only wins like $5. So hopefully it pans out. We'll see how it goes. For anybody who's new to the channel, who doesn't know me very well, I am a degenerate sports gambler. Oh, I told you, a flying kick on top. I swear, I hate Ravenous Rabble. I mean, not really. It's a good card, but like, God, it always happens. It always happens to me, I feel like. And then Bobby's going to give the Dissolving Shield and keep his last card. And now I'm only up 6 points, which is a lot worse than it was. What did Bobby take? Like 1 point of damage that turn? Pretty good turn for Bobby. That was a big Sag day. Now Bobby's going to have like a 0 for 6 here. Ooh, Techlocore off the top. Item from hand. No, just for 2. What does his hand do? I guess we're just going to take 2 Mounting Anger, Searing Emberblade, and to like play the Salt Wound for like the crappy value that this has here. This is not great. LMAO, Agroblaze, Statistical Anomaly. That's the truth. But when it comes to Rabble audio, that is so accurate. Rabble Babble is not my friend. These sync stinks. I mean, yeah, the syncs have not been good, which like maybe that's supposed to be like maybe I'm boarding wrong. Like maybe I need to be boarding differently because Sync Below, I feel like Sync Below has a lot of value in this matchup traditionally, but I know that Dashio also gets more value out of her items than the other Dash does, so maybe I need to rethink my sideboard plan in this matchup specifically. So I can throw this for 3. I mean, might as well. It's better than Phoenix Flame for 1 here, so probably the saddest. What is this? Well, I'm just hoping Bobby's turn isn't too good because my turn could actually be insane. I'm going to definitely Sink Below and put the Artivore on the bottom and hope it pans out. Is Dissolving Shield better than something that lets him aggro harder? At Melbourne, this deck was doing crazy turns. So John, it's very possible that like, I mean, like I'll just be honest with you. Bobby is a like mid-range connoisseur. Like he is a mid-range believer to a T. And he'll tell you that if you ask him about it. So I think that Bobby has probably tried to like tweak this list a little bit for his own doing. To his own fitting here, and I don't know if Dissolving Shield's better or worse than something else he could be doing. Dissolving Shield has felt pretty good in these games, but I'm also 2-1 in these games, and it honestly, Bobby's only had like 1 really crazy turn in 3 games, and I do agree with you, John. I did watch the Melbourne deck have like a lot of crazy turns over the course of that tournament, so this is turning up to be a pretty good turn, though. What did Bobby 0 to 60 into Tome? Into I'm about to block a lot, it looks like. Bobby's only boosted twice. I'm normally not a huge fan of blocking if I don't have to. Is that Dissolving Shield from hand? That's Dissolving Shield from hand and he passes? I mean, so Bobby's trying to set up a big turn here. I'm just going to throw this for 3 and see what he does here. Because Bobby doesn't know that this is all I'm looking to do this turn, but all right, I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with Bobby just wasting counters on his Dissolving Shield and me trying to have a bigger turn. Now, the problem is I'm only up 9 points, and if Bobby has a 30-point turn here, okay, whew, we're in danger. High Octane. Very, very good. Very, very bad for me. I think I'm just living in a world where right now I'm hoping that like the top of his deck's like not a Boom Grenade. I just think that's the reality we're living in. Also, that's 1 Harpoon over there. Has he seen any? Okay, so there's no Harpoons coming, which means I can actually block if I want to. But I think I just want to keep my hand here, if I'm being honest. Like, I think we're just trying to play, like, the hard, aggressive, like, aggro game. Bobby's hand has been a yellow 0 to 16, a blue zipper hit, which is, like, not the most aggressive cards he plays in his list, so... now that could be a problem. That could be a problem. Let's block 5 here. I'm going to hang on to the diplomacy with the idea that I might actually be able to play it if I need to. I'm going to take all the pistol shots here. I don't care about Bobby throwing the gun at us. Wonder what he's returning. Throttle, probably. Okay. So, block 5, take 5, go to 19, take 6, go to 13. I'm now down 10 points, and I'm going to play a Warmonger's Diplomacy and hope it gets me there. I could alternatively just block 8. I think I'm just going to have to take the 10-point deficit and hope that my follow-up turn is just good enough. I don't know. This doesn't feel great. Let's go to 13. Let's play the diplomacy and see what Bobby does. If Bobby's hand is item heavy enough, he could just say peace. Like... Okay, so he chooses war. I'm also going to choose war. I was like, it's not crazy for me to think that Bobby would just choose peace here. Man. These hands are not what we're looking for here. I mean, we have to, like, try and take his hand here and just hope that, like, we can cross the finish line. Like, that's really all there is at this point. Also, I never updated... my sheet here. We went first on this one. We lost the middle game, won the last game, and we're currently in this game right now. I think I'll just give the value block here. I still have snaps to block with if I need to. We'll just save some life here. Matchup seems pretty 50-50. It's definitely a close matchup. Like, I don't think I'm a heavy favor by any means. And I think the matchup is only going to get better for the Dash deck because of what the Dash deck can actually do. Okay. I think I'm going to have to start on this. Let's go buff and banish, and I'm going to banish the Mounting Anger because I don't want multiple one-costers in my hand without Furnace if I don't draw blue. Now, I did draw blue, thankfully. So, keeping that would have worked out. But at the same time, I still don't think that's where I want to be. Is there a Salta Wound left in my deck? I know there's one over here, at least. I'm having a stroke. My eyes are obviously not working. Okay, so there's still one left in our deck. So... The grind is on? Dude, it absolutely is. And Bobby's making us work for it this game, too. I was like, this is turned into quite a game. Bobby's really making us earn it tonight. So Flame Call Awakening for 4. Get a Phoenix Flame. I'm now at a point to where I'm just going to pop Mask. Salt the Wound is currently for 5 or 6. We're going to use Shuko on the 2 Phoenix Flames. So this is the third thing that hit, which means Art of War makes Salt the Wound a minimum of 6, and Lava Burst is 6. So we only have upside to be able to hit for more. So let's get Salt the Wound. I just about clicked on the on the blue Brahma Cinderclaw. That would have been a feels bad moment. I'll tell you that right now. That would not have been good. The man, the myth, the legend, Bobby. Bobby is going to love that you guys are saying that about him. Bobby will feel very nice to know that everybody feels that way about him. I was like, I play a lot of games against Bobby. Bobby's a very good player, and he's a very good Dash player, so I like being able to get games in against him, and like he really like helps me excel as a player. You thought the meta was Dromai? I saw that somebody sent that earlier, dude. I thought that was pretty funny when they sent that in the group chat earlier. Billy, I got a kick out of that. Wait, was that you actually? Billy, that was you, wasn't it? You sent that picture in the group chat, didn't you? So let's see. This is for 7. So Bobby doesn't have to block. Bobby can go to 1 here. And I don't like that because it means Bobby's hand is probably pretty good. That's terrifying. That's also terrifying. Bobby may have just had to keep his hand and hope that it pans out. Like, Bobby's hand could be bad here and just not be that great. Truthfully, that could be the case. Okay, you and Max are saying Zawoldo, and I'm going to be honest, man. I feel pretty lost right now. I'm going to put the Art of War on the bottom. That noise still gets me every single time. Yo, Mattis, aggro-blazing it with the big support 2 times for the 2nd time. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Means a lot, dude. I appreciate the support, brother. It means a lot. JoJo references? Dude, like, are you guys talking about, like, JoJo, like, the singer? Is that what's happening now? Like, because, dude, if you guys are, like, you're taking me back to, like, when I was, like, in high school, bro. Like, that's where it's at right now. Also, the Nados? Thanatos? The Nados or Thanatos? I'm hoping I'm getting that right. I appreciate you following on Twitch. Tell me about yourself. What's up, man? Where are you from? You like Flesh and Blood? That is the question that I ask everybody new to the stream as of tonight. Oh. Fai and Dashio feel like the 2 aggro decks. Honestly, Nathaniel, they do. They feel like the 2 aggro decks to be playing right now. Oh, and we hit a red to get him. Num, 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 num. You love to see it. You love to see it. Let's go. All right, so even when we went first, we got him. That feels pretty good. I won't lie. Overall, I feel like it's close, but you have the edge. It's super close. I feel like the items are your reason you win or your kryptonite. You punish stumbling a lot more than I can punish you. I mean, that's very accurate. Yeah, like Bobby's just talking about the game and like the matchup overall, and like honestly, I 100% agree with him on what he's talking about. So couldn't show up for a while, but I'm back. Well, dude, Mattis, welcome back, man. I hope that you've been like, you know, out traveling the world or something cool. Or also, I know life just gets busy sometimes, man, but I hope it's something really fun and cool that you've been up to, dude. I say that because Katsu is a control deck. Nathaniel, shut up, dude. Get out of here with your 1 for 5 nonsense, dude. Get out of here. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Anime. I don't watch it, but it's everywhere. Bro. What? Okay, so honestly, I'm not a big anime person. Like, just being real, I'm not a big anime person, but I like I know that like I'm about to like basically hit you all with like the you know, like basic anime starter pack. Like I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up, and that's like really about as far as I get into anime. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not like it's good, like it's not bad. Like if I'm being honest, like it honestly like it just feels like watching porn, like a lot of it, like, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just a culture I never got into, but I don't knock people who do like it. So anyway, either way though, however you like things. Thanatos? Okay, so Thanatos, I like it. Yep, love the game. Been playing since Tales of Aria release. Oh, nice, dude. That's awesome. Well, dude, welcome to the channel. Thanks for hanging out tonight, man. I appreciate it. Get culture, Fortnite boy. Okay, whoa. Back up, Nathaniel. Fortnite is great, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Fortnite is awesome. And I am loving every second of us going back to like chapter 1 Fortnite right now. So like you can back up, sir. Fortnite's amazing. I think Carly's in the other room playing Fortnite right now. Okay, Carly yelled, I don't know her, so I'm correct. She says that when I don't know her. Like, we don't spend every waking second of every day together. She's crazy. Not really, but that's not even starter pack, LOL. Listen, Master Chip, like, listen, anime was never really my thing, dude. Like, I did like Dragon Ball Z though. I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z like growing up. Like, I love that. Like, I have to say I haven't watched Super, which is kind of like, you know, sad. So in this matchup, what did I add in? I just threw in the Command & Conquerors because I don't really feel like the sync belows are worth it. That's right. I remember thinking about this. And also Felipe, Lupine, Fiasco. Gosh, I'm having a stroke right now trying to think of his name. Says to run Tide Flippers. So I've been sticking with running Tide Flippers because that's what he says to do. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what my man says to do. So that's what we're doing. So we'll see how it goes. You need to watch the right anime. Nathaniel, if you told me to watch an anime, I would actually consider it because like you're not like a complete degenerate. So like if you said something about me watching an anime, I would consider that if you had like a good one that you wanted to suggest. What's your pick for top 3 most represented decks at Worlds? Whoo! And what's your pick for deck to take the title? Now, this is interesting because it's weird because like, I don't know. This is tough. Like, this is tough to like think about. Like, honestly, I think Dromai is going to be the most represented deck at Worlds, if I'm being honest. Like, you're the 3 most represented decks at Worlds are probably going to be like Bravo, Dromai, and Dashio, if I had to guess. That's what I would say. Now, if I had to guess, I'm going to say an aggro deck wins. Like, honestly, like I would say an aggro deck wins. This is a weird line. Do I go 5 draw card on the E-Strike? So do I throw Lava Vein and then go 5 draw card? Or do I go Lava Vein into Phoenix Flame into Snatch? I think I'm just going to go 5 draw card. I think that's a more consistent line. I like that line better. Owning a $15 million turnover business has its downsides. Also, not sure if I told you last time, but I won our nationals going undefeated. Had 0 time to play after. So you'll show me the stuff now. Dude, Mattis, that's awesome, bro. Congrats on winning nationals, man. That's super exciting. You can't just like drop that so casually. Can't just be casual in the chat like winning nationals isn't a huge deal. dude, congrats, man. Like, that's amazing, dude. Like, I'm hyped, man. That's awesome. Blue flying kick? That's terrible. Well, we're definitely going to activate... I'm just going to get back Phoenix Flame here. We'll just pitch it to get back Phoenix Flame. I think that's a better Arsenal card than Flying Kick. Blue Flying Kick's not a terrible... Like, if there were blues I was going to Arsenal, this isn't a bad one, but it does require us to have multiple blues, which I'm not a huge fan of, so... But dude, Mattis, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Cowboy Bebop, hands down. I have heard good things about that. I've heard that Cowboy Bebop is like a good anime to watch. Isn't there like only one season of it though, or something like that? Hot take: Riptide wins, dude. Riptide wins Worlds. I think people would lose their minds. I mean, it'd be cool, Billy. Don't get me wrong, but I think people would go crazy. I think that would. Man, I'm trying to imagine what Riptide being the best deck in the format looks like. Looks like I should have bought all those traps is what it looks like. Ooh, so drawing Rise from the Ashes immediately makes this worse for us? I hate to see that. You hate to see that. Don't let me down, Nathaniel. Start with Ghibli movies. They're the Disney versions of anime, which is right up your alley. Cowboy Bebop is fire. I mean, dude, like, one, I love Disney movies, and you're not even going to shame me for that. Don't even feel bad about that. Ghibli. Are they, like, streaming somewhere, Nathaniel? Like, is that something I can watch somewhere? This definitely feels like a Creepers activation here. I think I'm just going to take 4. I mean, I guess I could just play my turn out and then Arsenal the Rise from the Ashes. But I don't know. Like, without multiple Phoenix Flames, Rise from the Ashes just kind of feels like a 0 for 3. Which, like, I guess is a lot of our deck, but... Create an Eloquence token. Okay. It's a movie watcher's anime for sure. I mean, dude, I like watching movies. I do like watching movies. Azalea will be in the mix, I think. So, Stu, I agree with you. Like, Azalea is a very strong deck. And I'm definitely not like, oh man, this was a really good turn for our opponent here. This is like a very quick way for us to fall behind fast here. Stu, I don't disagree with you. Azalea is a very strong deck. I think that Azalea struggles into the 2 most popular decks in the format, which are Bravo and Dromai. And so I think that's going to be Azalea's biggest problem at Worlds and moving forward. Now, saying that I could just be completely wrong, like people could just go ham at Worlds with, people could just go ham with Worlds as Azalea, or go ham with Azalea at Worlds. Like it's a very good deck. It just, I don't know, like it just feels like it struggles into, Bravo and Dromai. So that's like my worries. One last time too. It's a smaller country, only 124 players, but 2 PT top 8 players, so it wasn't too easy. Piloted Lexi, had fun. People didn't. Trophy is nice, but gold foil was Diadem of Dream State. Dude, I don't even know what that card is, Mattis. Like, I straight up don't even know what that card is, brother. So, like, does that mean it's really expensive or not expensive at all? Because I feel like those are like kind of like the 2 there. Like those are the 2 options in that situation. But dude, that's awesome. I mean, like, so you say only 124 players. Like, winning 124 player tournament's impressive, man. Especially if you have two PT top 8 players in the room playing against you. That's awesome. As a Disney fan, I can also vouch for Ghibli movies. Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away. Ghibli is Disney, but more magical. I'm all about the magic, dude. It's all in your imagination. I'm all about the imagination. Give me the grasp here. Give me the grasp. I was seeing how greedy they would be. So part of me wants to like Arsenal this and set up for like a bigger like Art of War turn here if we can draw into one. But I'm also pretty worried that if we just let this happen and then widespread destruction, the yellow one that destroys arsenals, like we just wasted a card. Let's just pass and like take a chance here. Maybe we get a little bit lucky. I don't know. It does cost 4 to play. So like even if they don't banish it, they still have to like pay 4 for it. So they have to pitch 2 cards here. Azalea is the Runeblade Ranger. I think that'll turn a lot of people off of that deck. I think that's actually a great way to describe it, Justin. I really like that description. I think that's a really solid way to describe it. Oh, he does have it. So is my entire hand worth stopping this? And I guess I don't have to give my entire hand. Whoa, that is not what I wanted to block with. Definitely wanted to block with the Salt and Wound there. All right, so we'll keep our arsenal here and we'll throw a head jab. We'll or like not a head jab. We'll throw a 0 for 4 here. We'll try to play their game plan with them and see what happens here. We'll see what happens. Also, just sent you the latest spice I got help with cooking for Riptide. I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see it. I would start with Spirited Away. I think they're all on max. Spirited Away. Okay, I'll look it up. I was like, we got max, so I'll look it up. I'm a Princess Mononoke guy myself. Okay, that's awesome, dude. I don't know these movies, so I can't like judge them, I feel like. Pants. Howl's Moving Castle is trippy, but decent, not gonna lie. Okay, fair enough. I am also a Princess Mononoke guy, but it's not very Disney. I mean, listen, like, it doesn't... Listen, man, it doesn't have to be, like, you know, sunshine and rainbows and butterflies for me to enjoy it, okay? You know, I like Die Hard. I like Christmas movies. Like, come on. I say that because somebody brought up the conversation of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie to me the other day, so that was an interesting one. Ooh, the +5 one is, like, terrifying, honestly. And yes, Kyle, I have pants on, I promise. Yeah, pretty edge. Tell me what to play, I bring it in. What do you mean tell you what to play? Like, are you looking for a deck to play? Like, is that like what you're like trying to figure out right now? Like you feel like you don't really like feel comfortable on any kind of deck? Mattis, is that like what you mean? So what? Yeah, so we take 4, go to 21, and then he goes to 23. Okay. He does have 3 rune chants, but we have a very explosive hand that I feel like we can really like make the best of here, which I'm honestly pretty excited to play this hand. This hand's really good. We'll just start throwing cards here. No. Thanatos, what do you mean no? No to what? Grave of Fireflies will kill your soul, though. I'm going to assume this is another movie. Watch Grave of Fireflies only if you want to cry your eyes out. Well, that's good to know. I mean, it's not like I wake up every day being like, you know what? I could use a good cry today. Like, it's not like I wake up feeling that way, but I'm also not opposed to crying. You know, like, I believe that everybody should embrace their emotions. So, not just run from them.
Go. You love to see it.
Yo, Thanatos with a sub on YouTube. Appreciate the support. Double support, man. You guys are awesome. I love our community so much. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight, by the way. I was like, we're hanging out around like 25 or 30 viewers across like all 3 platforms right now, and that's really exciting. Like, I know like it's like, you know, a lot of people would like laugh at that, but that, you know, that's a lot of people hanging out for me. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Oh, it's 100% a Christmas movie? Yes, Billy. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Allie, if you're listening, it's a Christmas movie. Now I'm just stirring the pot. Oh, did Jonathan ask you that? No, Jonathan did not ask me that. Is that a thing for Jonathan, Nathaniel? Because I will totally bring that up just to stir the pot with him, dude, if that's a thing for him. I'm just gonna go ahead and okay. I'm still gonna leave Mask on though. I'm interested that he gave me a sink below there. He must want to keep his other cards. I mean, the Putrid Strings is a good card, but also a tough one to play, so gotta make sure that, like, you know, we try to, like, get that going. Like, or try to keep that in his Banish Zone as long as possible. At Worlds, yeah, I have 4 days of testing and I've had no time to do business. Oh wow, that's crazy, man. Haven't seen a single cards from Bright Lights. Oh wow, dude, that's gonna be a tough sell, bro. Not having seen any of it, man. That's, dude. Dashio is good. I honestly think Fai is the best position aggro deck in the meta right now. And if you're not on Fai, I think you should be playing. Like Dashio is great. Dromai is probably just the best deck in the format. Like, even if I don't want to admit it, Dromai is probably just the best deck in the format, Mattis. So, like, that's probably where I would start if you like the Dragon Lady. I know that some people would, you know, rather roll in a pile of glass than play the Dragon Lady. So, it's all about how you feel about that kind of thing. So we've had 3 things hit, which means that Lava Burst is for 6 and Salt the Wound is also for 6. Do we not have a Salt the Wound in here? Here it is. So Salt the Wound's for 6 or 7 maybe. So we'll just go get Salt the Wound. We'll let the Phoenix Flame come in for 2. Our opponent would have to give Grasp and Creepers here if they wanted to block this with equipment, so that's pretty good for us. If they block this, they're not only blocking 2, they're blocking 3 here because of our Salt the Wound that they know about. But I wanted to get value out of my mass before we get too late in the game here, and we can't. Sorry, I was talking about your block. Oh, did you not like my block, Thanatos? The turn that I was throwing, the turn that I decided to throw the Blaze Headlong last turn? Did you not think that was a good block? If so, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just like to know, why. So this is for 6 because of Shuko. If our opponent goes to 9, they'd have to have a pretty good turn here to, like, make me feel like we're in a bad spot, but could happen. Definitely a thing for him, but tell him it's not a Christmas movie. Oh, tell him it's not a Christmas movie. Oh, so you're just wanting me to stir the pot now. I love it. Also, tell him you hate Shawshank. Okay, Nathaniel, I'm not an animal. Good lord. Who hates Shawshank Redemption? It's like one of the greatest movies ever. It's an amazing movie. Tim Robbins' masterpiece. It's a fantastic movie. Although I can definitely see that just, like, driving Jonathan up a wall. Hell yeah, Max said. Max, I don't even know what you're saying that about, brother, but hell yeah, I'm in there. We're in there like swimwear, dude. So we take 4 Rune Chants. And then this is going to be for 10. Okay, so if I go to 7, there's no possible way for our opponent to have go again here. I'm pretty much going to play. I'm gonna play the Art of War first to see what we find, and I'm gonna pitch the Flying Kick and banish the Soul Beat Strike. Actually, I'm going to I guess I'm gonna pitch the Soul Beat Strike. No, let's banish the Soul Beat Strike and pitch the Flying Kick. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter what we do here. Let's stay at 8. Let's stay at 8 and try to make something happen. Okay, this isn't bad. So Phoenix Flame for 1. Phoenix Flame for 1, Emberblade for 3, Rabble for hopefully 5, and then Lava Burst for 7 because of Shuko. It's a pretty solid play here. Our opponent does have 2 Rune Chants, which is kind of scary, so Dromai loses to good players, but I've seen the new book card. Not very fair. Should check out the Dash.io hype and what it's all about. Might end up on Katsu and just enjoy the ride. I mean, I don't think Katsu's in a bad spot, Matsu. Or Mattis. I don't think it's in a bad spot at all, dude. Like, I don't think that's crazy to, like, want to play Katsu at all. Hey, let's go. Rabble Babble for 5. Reduced to Rune Chant is pretty good there because it allows our opponent to stay at 7. Now, the cool thing about Lava Burst here is that our opponent is required to give us a card. Like, they have to give us a card. This is just lethal, which probably messes up their entire turn, which means they're going to give us both cards. And then maybe attack us with Flail. Not sure. If they do, I might consider giving Shuko. I cannot believe you've not seen Shawshank, dude. That's crazy, bro. Shawshank is like such a good movie. Like, and I say that like I'm not even like I would tell everybody to watch Shawshank. Like, that's probably like on the 10, like a list of 10 movies that every human being should see, in my opinion. Playing against Vincent, and we went second. Yeah, we went second because they wanted to set up. Vincent always wants to go first because they always want to set up, which is like really an interesting take. They have to have another defense reaction, right? I mean, if not, they're dead. Interesting. Hold the line from Arsenal here. Actually gonna let my opponent go to 5 here. Hold the line is an interesting card that a lot of people haven't really played yet or tried to break open yet. Kind of curious to see how that does. Also, hot take, watch Europe dominate on Icelander. I could see that. I don't think that's crazy. Like, I think that Icelander is like a very good deck. Like, and I think you weren't here for it, but I think it was Monday. I was talking about how I actually really liked Icelander in the meta, and that I felt like Icelander was going to have a big resurgence back into the meta, and that I was curious to see how the metagame shaped up. This is a spicy hand. So I'm going to 3 off Rune Chance here. I don't know if going to 2 is correct here. The Scepter of Pain can never kill me because we have the Tide Flippers, which is really relevant. So, I don't know. Like, I don't like being at 2 here. Shuko stops the damage prevention, so they were going to 2. Oh, so that's why they went back and played the reduced to Rune Chant. I wasn't even noticing Shuko. This is like such a card I'm not used to playing around this card at all. Prevent the next 3 damage. So it actually only blocks 2. So it would have it ate all of that, which is really cool. So that's why they took 1 and went to 6. That's good to know. It's good to like keep that in mind and be aware of that, which I feel like is something I should just be aware of at all times. I was paying better attention, I might have. Honestly. Lol, hard punish on the Shuko negating the line. Dude, absolutely. Audia, I was like, you guys pointing that out, dude. Absolutely.
You love to see it.
I love when you guys like notice plays before I do. I mean, sometimes I don't because I wish I would have noticed them, but like, I love when you guys notice the plays. Like, I feel like I have like one of the most interactive chats and like, honestly, like some of the coolest people that hang out, but like, you guys are also insanely good players. Like, I've went back and looked at some of like the results that like you guys have put, like the people who watch my videos and stuff have put up on the links and the decks that I have like given you guys, and you guys do really well. Like, it's always super impressive to me to like watch you guys like play a list that I've like put out or something, because you guys like always crush it on it. You guys are always like doing super well on it. I love to see it, honestly. Yo, Lawn Zealot, Iron Zealot, is that an I or an L? Oh, I can never tell. Capitalization gets the best of me on Twitch. Thanks for following on Twitch. Thanks for being a part of the Twitch community. I appreciate it. What's your name? Where you from? Tell me about yourself. And do you love Flesh and Blood? It's the question of the day. I'm curious to know if our opponent goes to 1 here. Or if they, like, actually give me 2 cards. I mean, they could have a defense reaction, I guess. Like, we've only seen 2 sinks, and we've only seen 1 Fate Foreseen, which is currently on this combat chain, so I'm actually curious to see what they give us here. Oh my god, I just had like a stroke flashback to this card. Was anybody here, like, that's here now? Was anybody in the chat the night that I lost to that card, that Vile Inquisition card? I went to 1 against Vincent, and then they actually just, like, gave me the business and killed me because I flipped a blue off the top. That was, like, big Sag. Big Sag. How many Phoenix Flames we got over here? 2? We haven't banished any, so there's 1 left in the deck. Very close match. A lot of D-reacts from this Vincent. So it's interesting because I've seen a lot of Vincents actually play like a more like defensive style list. Like with the unmovables and like fates and sinks and stuff like that. Like I think they're like trying to be like a more fatiguey style like deck, which I'm gonna be honest, like I don't really know if like that's the best way to build Vincent. But I mean Vincent might just be best served as like a mid-range hero, where you just like take your big turns when you can. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I haven't explored Vincent a ton. I don't know a lot about it. Just in all honesty. So we're gonna throw Phoenix Flame, which is going to be for 1. Our opponent's probably going to go to 1 here, if I had to guess. I think we're about to kill our opponent right here. Activate Fai for free. Even if this is the 0 for 4 that makes us pay 1 or we lose a life, we don't die here. So I'm okay just pitching the Phoenix Flame to come in with Emberblade. If we were at 1, I would have attacked with the Phoenix Flame. Our opponent goes to 1, and then the Snatch wins us the game. That was a close game. That was a close game. $13 AVPT over 8 turns. It's not super impressive. I mean, keeping an average of 13 over 8 turns, I guess, is better than not, I guess. But I don't know. Let me update my thing here real quick. Close game. Opponent had to banish a D-react. Okay. Updated the log, so we got everything going. All right, spill the tea. Checked out the Melbourne... Let's see, I just had a stroke trying to read this. Checked out the Melbourne-IO run, and I feel like as a Fi, you die before her, but you probably tested way more than me. Well, more than 0 games. Also, Kodachi's take. Okay, so, Mattis, I played Kodachi's all of... I'm gonna pull up my face cam here, so it's not just like just the screen. I played Kodachi's all of ProQuest season. Kodachi's allows you to play the 1 for 5 breaking point card in the main deck, which is insanely good into like any kind of like Ranger style hero. It's great against Lexi, and that's why I like it. In this meta, I think you want Mask of the Pouncing Lynx to race Dashio. And yes, I'm talking about Dashio. I'm just calling it Dashio because I think it's funny. I think you want Mask of the Pouncing Lynx and Emberblade to race Dashio and like just get so far ahead to where like they just can't keep up. Now, I just played 4 games into Bobby, and I won 3 of those games, and I lost 1 of them where Bobby was able to like get pretty ahead off of a double boom grenade hand when I had a lot of 2 blocks. That is a downfall. Now, I also will say that I like, let me like on my list here. The first game that I played on my list, I played against a Dash.io, where I actually made a mistake that cost me the game that I was going to win. That I was actually going to win. So I'm 3-2 with my Emberblade list into Dashio, and I punted one of the games that I lost. So now again, Bobby's a good player. The other guy was a Talishar player the day after the deck list came out. I don't know if that guy knew how to sideboard or not, but I think that Fai can race the Dashio deck just because of how important, just like when you guys get, I think when you guys get to the end of the game, they don't have Pistol and Chamber to keep a blue and take 2 cards out of your hand anymore. And I don't think the gun can consistently take enough cards out of your hand. And I also think the item variance puts them in a bad spot personally. Now, with that in mind, I have yet to play the Dashio deck, really. I played like my first variation on stream like, a month ago or whatever, but I haven't really played the updated Dashio deck. So I'm not really sure how much raw power that deck has, but it went 14-0 at a calling. So take it for what it's worth. I mean, with 4 days to go, going into Worlds and you not really having tested a lot, I would pick up the Dashio list and I would just jam games with it. Like, I think the Dashio deck is really good. I think you'll have a hard time with Azuri. I think that's one of the harder matchups for it. And like, if you're not going to be on Dashio, I think Dromai, Tome made Dromai so good. Tome is an insanely powerful card. TCG Talk described the card today on Twitter. I saw he posted this today. He described Tome as it allows you to play the big dragon style of deck with Empress style tempo. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. So like, I think Dromai is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. And I honestly think that the Chromai Dust has made your Bravo matchup close to 50-50, if not a little favored. So I don't know. That's a tough call. Kadachis get wrecked by Dissolving Shield or whatever it is called that can prevent 3 instances of 1 damage. So Audia, you're absolutely correct. I don't know that most people are playing Dissolving Shield though. I think that might be a Bobby special, honestly. I feel like you only play Kadachis in the Dromai. No. So Mattis, Mara Ferris actually told me that she is more scared of seeing Emberblade than she is of seeing Kadachis. She wasn't talking to me, but I heard her say it. That she is more afraid of Emberblade than she is Kadachis. Kadachis pick on a tuned Dromai list. And I think that the way the Dromai list is like tuned right now, I think that good Dromai players will not be putting a lot of Ashwings on board against you. So I think Kadachis are actually worse personally. That's based off of like what Mara said and me taking into consideration her thoughts. That is also just theory from my point of view. I have yet to test that theory. So not sure if it's worth the side thoughts though. Team told me Dashio is crazy, but you get decked out by Bravo and Azuri players. I mean, yeah, I would imagine that good players like that really give you a hard time in certain situations. I 100% believe that. I watched, Matthew Folks. I was watching his stream the other day, and he played Dashio into 2 different Bravos. One Bravo just didn't block and lost, which, like, I don't know what you're doing as Bravo. Oh, it's Nathaniel. Let's go. And then I watched a Bravo play into him where, like, he blocked and took his turns efficiently, and I think the Bravo ended the game at, like, 12 or 13. So, this is definitely Nathaniel. Oh my gosh, he's totally just trying to snipe me right now. Oh my gosh. I don't even know, I really hope this was an accident. So, Emberblade also enables your hero ability more. Yes, Justin, that is also very true. I think, being able to play Emberblade makes your hero ability a lot better. And like when I was playing Kadachis, I had literally come to a point to where I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna use Fai's ability once or twice a game over like an 8-turn game, and that's just gonna be it. And that's a very accurate statement. Let's see what we got set up for Katsu. I honestly can't remember what I did. So even on Katsu, we're on pouncing links. I don't really know if I agree with my decision making skills right there. I think we want to be on Mask. I'm just gonna be honest. I think we want to be on Mask. Like, I just think Mask of Momentum's just better in this matchup. Like, just forcing Nathaniel to block at certain times is very valuable. Plus, we're playing like CNC and stuff like that. So, oh, he fell for it. He fell for the Blazing Yoroi trap. You watch, I'm just gonna get blown out by it because I'm gonna need a lava burst or something. Classic pre-world psyop. Oh man, we're gonna take the first one. I always do. Just gonna take the first one here. If he comes in with a second Kadachi, we will block it. I mean, I'm just gonna block this. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna block that. This meta is meh. I don't enjoy playing Illusionist or Guardians. Also, one of our PT top 8 players somehow figured out the Bravo Dromai matchup, and hearing that makes me go away from Dromai. I mean, I think that's fair. Like, I don't like everything I know about the Bravo Dromai matchup is from what my teammates tell me. Like, if I'm just being honest, it's just from what my teammates tell me because I don't know a ton about the matchup. I like Bravo. I play Dromai sometimes just because I want to stay sharp with the deck and understand what's going on with it. But I'm not a huge Illusionist fan. I like that Prism could play on both sides of the turn cycle. That was why I liked Prism, honestly, but that was really about it. Feel like Fai wins Dromai and Bravo easily. Just hard to deal with Icelanders, and this new dash looks pretty scary. Mattis, I'm not gonna lie. Like I really disagree with that take. I don't think that Fai just wins Dromai or Bravo if you're playing against good Dromais and Bravos. I think that I think good Bravo players and I think like good Dromai players have I think it's very 50-50. Like 100%, I think that Bravo, like Fai into Bravo and Dromai is very 50-50. And Tome has made it as close as it's ever going to be. Waxon is going to be hysterically bad in this deck. We're going to take both of the Kadachis here. Yeah, Waxon's going to be hysterically bad in this deck because he plays up a whole bunch of 1-for-5s. Stuff like this. Like, yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that like makes this like look bad. Waxon is like traditionally pretty good into the Katsu matchup, so I have it in this. I knew what Nathaniel's playing, but I tried to board like I didn't know what he was playing so that I could play a fair game here. Pablo Pintor wins Worlds on Bravo. I'd bet on it. I mean, I could see Bravo winning Worlds. I don't think that's crazy at all, dude. So I'm gonna sink below and put my Mounting Anger on the bottom and see what we draw. And then I'm gonna play Waxon and let Nathaniel laugh to himself. Like, I definitely knew Nathaniel was running the 1-for-5 style, like block, brr, 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 like thing into me, but like I'm boarding like I didn't know what he was playing because I would rather play this game in the dark and see how it goes. He said Waxon is trash, so I promptly responded in a way that anybody would, and I said your mom's trash. So, oh man, and Daniel's probably reporting me for that right now. I don't even know if you can report people on Talishar. 6 to 8, 6 out of the 8 players on your team take Bravo. Like, are taking Bravo to Worlds? Really? That's interesting. I would be curious to know what they figured out about the Bravo matchup that I haven't really heard from anybody else. Like, again, I go back to the point that, like, I'm not saying that, like they're wrong. I'm just curious to know, like either people are keeping Bravo pretty quiet, which, like, it's not crazy to think that people are keeping decks quiet because they want to keep the deck for their own, like, you know, positive gain. I get that. Got him. That's right, Billy. Absolutely. I know that Bravo won 2 pro quests that I went to. Wow, that's a lot of defense reactions early. Luckily for us, he did not have another one. Let's put the sink below on the bottom. And we're going to go 5 go again into 5 draw card and try to set up an arsenal here, and we'll try to set up a bigger turn here. They figured out how to fatigue Dromai matchup, which is wild with the new dust card. So that's, yeah, like, I honestly, like, lol. That's hysterical. Nathaniel just said wax on is goated after he just called my wax on trash. I haven't really like dove into like the Bravo versus like Dromai matchup with the new cards, but I would be curious to see like how that plays out with like, oh, that was totally wrong. Thought I picked draw card. I must have just clicked buff power like out of like habit there. But yeah, like I'm definitely like if your team figured out how to fatigue Dromai with the dust, that's really impressive, Mattis. Honestly, like 100%, dude. Like that's like from what I have been told, I've been told that like a lot of like Dromai players that I know are just telling me that like if a Bravo is just trying to fatigue them, like it's just not possible anymore. Oh my god. Well, that's really good for Nathaniel. Like, really good for Nathaniel. I assume he's going to go draw a card here. I'm going to take 5 and try to take our Art of War turn here. Just try to have a big turn here. Oh, dude, the Zen State? Dude, like, Billy, the value is insane here. I didn't think there would be a day when Nathaniel actually got to have the Zen State token against me. Oh, we're now living in that world. Great. Let's play Rabble. Hopefully it's for 4. If we can get a Rabble for 4 here, that we can probably get Nathaniel with our Art of War and get an extra point through here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. I could also just, like, not play my Art of War and play around the Zen State token here. I actually think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what we're going to do here. Should have a team meeting tomorrow and some testing, so I will see it firsthand. They got to help me catch up on a lot of things, including draft, I guess. Dude, draft is, like, draft is fun, dude. Mattis draft is fun, brother. I love this draft format. I thought I already, yeah, okay, I did. So Mattis, I made a video like last week or week before last talking about a draft deck called Teklo Leveler Dash. Ask your team about it and if they're playing it. I'm curious to know if they've been playing it as well, because it's a deck that like almost every person, I think everybody on my team has drafted it at some point, and we were all getting insane value out of it. I heard it's Teklo Vossen fun, but rather skill intensive. Yeah, 100%. Like it's literally like you get all of the pieces of like playing Teklo Vossen. This is just going to be for 1, which is kind of funny because his in-state token just blocks it. Big Sag. But yeah, dude, the leveler dash deck is really cool, and it's very skill intensive. There's a lot to it. There is a lot to it, brother. A lot. Okay. All right. Let's go to work. Let's try to get Nathaniel here a little bit. I'd like to try and get him a little bit here. Wait, now I have to check out the video. Drafting and building, that seems complicated from what I've checked in the last 30 minutes. So the thing that I like about Teklo Leveler Dash, it just in 100% honesty, the thing that I like the most about it is the fact that it allows you to stay open between playing Teklo Vossen and between playing Dash, because you can take the really good defensive items and you can still be on like a super, like a really solid game plan that like I really like. I guess we'll just go here. But dude, like the deck is really cool. I really break it down in the video, like what you're looking for, like blue count wise, like how many things you want to see. And I think the video is only about 6 minutes long. So I mean, Mattis, if you get bored tomorrow and you have a chance or something, dude, I mean, like, I know I'm like plugging my own content right now, but like you should check it out. It's a really cool deck, and I think that knowing that deck going into nationals could really benefit you and your team or not nationals, worlds could really benefit you and your team for drafting. So, and it's a deck that like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Josh Lau didn't know about it when I saw him at week 2 ProQuest. He did not know what it was, and we were telling him about it. So I think it's kind of been kept under the radar. I wonder if I need Spreading Flames in this deck. Something I think to myself every time I play it. Crazy parts, Nathaniel can just block 5 here with a blue. Like if he has a blue 3 block, he gets to just block 5. I guess he wants to keep his hand, so he's just going to give me the Yoroi here. Yeah, Shuko just blocks 2 in this matchup pretty much, so... Oh my god. Draw a card. Draw a card. Draw a card. Yay! So we're going to pitch Lavaverse and Lava Vein Loyalty here just to like play the Command and Conquer and then Arsenal Art of War. We're just going to get a couple cards in Nathaniel's hand. He'll still be able to like play his like game, which is what he's trying to do here, so... Ah, the old fatigue Katsu. Yeah, Justin, this like, so like when I was boarding, I knew Nathaniel was playing this because he loves this deck. But I intentionally boarded the Waxons and the Sink Belows just to like play as if I was playing into a regular Katsu. So I'm curious to see how this matchup goes. Literally a 3D react hand. That sucks, dude. He just said he drew 3D reacts. That's terrible. I hate that for Nathaniel. Everybody just told me you go Teklo Vossen and get lucky with the gear, I guess. I don't like that strategy, so I will check it out. Always 2 steps ahead. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I hope you get something good out of the video. But I mean, dude, Teklo Vossen is a very strong draft deck. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Teklo Vossen is great. I am also like I'm also just like not really a big believer in like forcing a hero in draft. Like, it's just not how I like to play. I also think that like Fatigue Max is really cool. Flick Flack and Sink Below, huh? Nathaniel said 12 turn clock. God, he kills me, dude. He's so funny. I'm gonna play the Mounting Anger anyway, so I might as well just lead on the Mounting Anger. Plus, like, me playing the Mounting Anger off the rip here doesn't suggest anything. This is the kind of deck where I want to use my Art of War to be able to get value off of it as a D-react here and, like, try to get the extra value out of it, so... I mean, we're just going to go buff and banish here. I'm going to banish the Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer could be good, but Blaze Headlong will definitely be good. So that is 100% what we're looking for here. Even a Wax On doesn't like get him out of the situation because this is a 1-cost card. I also think this is a matchup where like Spreading Flames would have a lot of value for us. I only have one Phoenix Flame, and there's actually only one in my deck because I board it in a way to where like I want to be able to block if I can. So this is actually a really neat line. We're not going to Emberblade here. Which, like, I think that's correct here. I think it's correct to just throw Blaze Headlong, activate 5 for 1, get the Phoenix Flame back, come in for 2, and then E-Strike for 8 to push as much damage as possible. That turns this hand into a 5, 10, 12, 20-point turn. 21-point turn, actually. So this is for 6 now, which is just really good, honestly. Looking really solid here. Okay. Just playing Fate Foreseen and Wax Off here to cover up this. I mean, I think that's a respectable play here from Nathaniel. How did he opt? Puts a card on top of the deck. Okay. I know that Nathaniel like has Command and Conquer cards in his deck. I'm pretty sure he plays like I think he actually just plays Command and Conquer. I could be wrong, but I think he does. I don't think he's on That All You Got, but that would be pretty interesting mirror tech here if he did have it. I mean, I think 8 here is just the play. Like, arsenaling cards is great, but I think that, like, I want to be using my E-Strikes to just push damage if I can. And I know that I've played 2 E-Strikes off of drawing cards here so far, or I went go again and then draw a card off of one. But, like, I need to end the game. I might just have to give Nathaniel Mask here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to play around it. I don't have a 3-block, so I'm just going to... What is this? Yeah, so this is literally just says 1 for 5. This is Zipper Hit without having to lose a card, which is phenomenal for us. This is great. If it was like Censor or something like that, like it could be like in a weird spot. I actually had Nathaniel, me and him played a game one time where I was trying to set up a big Art of War turn, and he literally just went like his turns were like Command and Conquer into Censor, name Art of War, Command and Conquer, like into Censor, name Art of War, like all this kind of stuff. And just like hands were like, it was just like, I just ended up blocking like a whole bunch. Like it was just really awkward. And like we were just in a really bad spot. It's also worth noting that there have been like at least 3 to 4 cards here where we've pitched Reds. I know we pitched Red 0 for 3, Lava Vein Loyalty, and a Lava Burst together. So if those line up in a like somewhat decent hand, we can like really get value out of those. I wonder if there's a world where I want Breaking Point in this deck. I think if I was going to play Breaking Point, I'm just playing Spreading Flames. Like I think I'm just better off playing Spreading Flames if that's the case. So I don't really think I want to be on the Breaking Point playing in Emberblade. I think it's too inconsistent. Okay. So the interesting part is like Nathaniel could just try and fatigue us here. I don't think it's possible for him to fatigue us, if I'm being honest, but he could go for it. He could try it. So, D-React, give us an arsenal or give us 2 cards here, which is really cool. So it's D-React. No. Interesting. I wonder if he has a Command and Conquer. So, oh man, this feels good. Wax on feels really good right here. I just put wax on in all caps in the chat just to mess with him. Just to mess with Nathaniel. Now he may have wanted to arsenal this card anyway. Like, may not matter at all, but so let's play Rise from the Ashes. We'll return our Singleton Phoenix Flame here. We'll come in for 3. I'm going to arsenal my Artivore here and hope that Nathaniel doesn't have a Command and Conquer. We're going to go Phoenix Flame for 3, Emberblade for 3, and then I'm going to play Ravenous Rabble. Interesting. Actually just goes to 6. Really makes me wonder what his hand is. Just took 3 there. Come on, be a red. Boo. Also, if Nathaniel throws something where we need to block, I'm gonna give up Mask before I give up Shuko, because we're now at a point where Nathaniel's at 6. We're never going to get Mask. Like, that's just not gonna be a thing from here. So, I mean, and honestly, like, Mask of the Pouncing Lynx would have been better in this matchup anyway, which is funny because I changed off of my Mask of Pouncing Lynx to Mask of Momentum because I feel like it was better in Dekatsu. So I feel like I'm actually just playing, like, probably the worst version of my deck that is possible for me to play into Nathaniel right now. So we're going to take the 1, and then if Nathaniel comes in for, with the Kadachi here, I'm going to block with Furnace. Stop his potential mask hit here. Yeah, see, this is so good. Something that doesn't disrupt me, this is amazing. I'm more than happy to go to 11 here. He has no cards to discard to Katsu, so there's no, like... Because Nathaniel's deck actually plays, like, some kind of, like, combo line. Let's go buff and banish. We're going to banish the Lava Vein Loyalty, and I'm going to start this way because I want to be able to see what my hand's going to look like. So we're just leading on Snatch here, which is like pretty interesting take, I would say. Nathaniel definitely just has the wax on here, but I have to snap Like, I have to snap every time here. I have to take my Art of War turn, even if it's kind of lackluster. I think it's worth pitching the Salta Wound to play the Command and Conquer because it's for 7 instead of just like, so I can go Emberblade after the Blaze Headlong. I get to play Emberblade, which is for 3, and then I get the Command and Conquer for 7, which I think is really strong. It's that or Arsenal Assault the Wound and don't swing Emberblade, and I think I would rather swing Emberblade every time here because we might get lucky. And yeah, see, now Nathaniel is gonna at minimum take 4, and if he has a defense reaction in his hand, he's just dead. Which is so good. D-React, if he has a D-React in his hand, that ends the game. Which there's probably still quite a few of left in his list if I had to guess. Okay, so Nathaniel goes to 2, has no equipment left, and he doesn't have an arsenal, which is really good. Oh, okay, so take that back. Nathaniel like goes to 5. He goes from 6 to 5. We're going to start here. Oh. Guys, everybody, thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you guys being a part of the stream. Had quite a few follows on Twitch and got quite a few subs on YouTube. And Matt is coming in with a big support on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being a part of the stream and hanging out tonight. And I was talking about it a little bit earlier in the stream, but for anybody that missed it, moving forward every week, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a poll, and I'm going to pick 3 or 4 heroes, and members of the channel on YouTube are actually going to get to pick, the decks that I play moving forward. So if you guys have been on the fence about becoming members and supporting my channel, you know, even more than you guys already do, then, you know, this is your sign to jump in on the bandwagon here and become a member of the channel and help pick the decks that I play so you guys can have a say-so in what I'm doing week in and week out when you guys are hanging out with me. Nathaniel goes to 3, and then I imagine he gives us both cards here, or he just gives us a Sink Below. Okay, so he's got a D-React here. Wax On. That's the last Wax On. This hand is insanely good. I don't know that it ends the game, but this definitely doesn't end the game, but it's a very good hand here. We're also getting to a point to where Nathaniel's not really putting cards back into his deck anymore. He's blocking every single turn, which is how we're actually going to fatigue him instead of him fatiguing us. There is one more Sigil left in his deck, if I'm not mistaken, though. Sigil. Yeah, I think there's one more Sigil left in his deck that we haven't seen yet. Are you streaming on the brand new Flesh and Blood category on Twitch? Yes, sir, Trent. I sure am. Dude. I am enjoying the new category that people have been fighting to get us on Twitch, which I think is really cool. Honestly, like I'm a really big fan of, like, you know, people advocating for the game and like helping the game grow. So it's I'm very excited to see that they're like that we have our own category now in on Twitch. That's very exciting for me. I mean, I could Arsenal this, or I could just take the last card out of Nathaniel's hand. I think I'm just going to Arsenal this. Nathaniel does throw something at us. We'll give him Mask and Sink Below here. We're also going to get to a point to where our blue flying kicks are going to come in handy here. Which is going to be very good for us. I guess I don't even have to give Nathaniel Mask here. I can just give him Sink Below. It didn't give me the option. I was definitely going to put Lava Vein Loyalty on the bottom and see if we can find a better card there, but at this point, it's just putting him closer to dead. It's just unfortunate I'm in the EU. Can't watch every time since it's like 3 a.m. when you start your schedule, but it's very enjoyable, and hear me out. I'm picky AF. Well, dude, I appreciate that you choose to spend time with me, man, and especially choose to spend your money here. Mattis, you know, it means a lot, man. And you're right. I get that. I hate that for a lot of people. There are a lot of people that I know, like all over the world that like to, like Flesh and Blood and like to watch people stream. And there are people who drop by and they're like, I wish I could see more of your live content, because I'm always at work when you're streaming, or it's like I'm asleep or something like that. So Mattis, I completely get that, man. I wish I could stream at a time to where everybody could see it. That is the world that I'm dreaming one day I can make that a reality. I would love to be able to make that a reality, and stream full time. It's just unfortunate with my schedule and stuff right now. Like I do not have, I can't stream full time, so it just can't support me. Oh, Nathaniel not having a defense react there is so good. And then we activate Fai and we get him. Yeah, Trent, dude, I'm super pumped about there being, like, Flesh and Blood having its own category. 14 AVPT over 14 turns. That's really good, actually. That's like insanely good. Over 14 turns? That's really not bad. We threatened 170 damage that game. Wow. But yeah, dude, like Flesh and Blood getting its own category on Twitch is so exciting. That's really cool. I was pretty pumped about that. I actually retweeted FabTCG's tweet today when I saw that, because I was so excited about that, honestly. All right, let's see here. Fai. We played against Nathaniel. We're gonna go second against Dash. He was on Katsu. We went second. Win. Fatigue. Katsu. Come on, type Zach. For value. And then, so against Dash, this is our normal game plan. It's the same plan as Dashio. We just bring in the Sync Belows and try to make them value here in this game. Maybe Command and Conquer is a better option. Oh, they're on Control Dash. Spicy. Talishar. Dash, we're going second. They were probably happy to see us pick going second, considering what they're playing. So.
Here's what I found.
Oh, shut up, phone. God, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Good lord. It's funny, you say her name and she won't actually respond, but like. Oh, and a leg piece. I think I'm just going to come in for 3, and then I'm just going to play the Mounting Anger here. And then... yeah, I was like, there's no way they're going to let this hit, dude. No way. 13.85. So yours was close to mine. I mean, I was like, that's pretty close, all things considered. Yeah, I get that. I feel like it's respectable you do what you like and stream for such a small target audience. Not sure if it can ever make enough for you to go full time, but I surely hope so. Yeah, Mattis, like that is, at the end of the day, brother, that is one of the biggest concerns, is that I don't know that like with such a small game, it's ever like truly sustainable, like full time anyway, just because of, oh wow, that's a lot of Evo equipment early. This is going to be an interesting game. But yeah, like, I mean, Mattis, that's like definitely the the question is like, can it last full time? And man, I don't know. It's a tough question. I don't know the answer to it. I do not know the answer to that. Of course, if I did, I'd be a fortune teller and not streaming cards. So now we just need a category on YouTube instead of my recommended videos being Magic the Gathering, but really all just Fab. Dude, so it does that to me when I'm like making videos, like when I'm like producing videos and like trying to like make videos, Trent, it says that to me. It's always like, oh, tags of Magic the Gathering. Like other people with similar videos are using Magic the Gathering as a tag. And I'm like, in what world? I'm like, who's using Magic the Gathering as a Flesh and Blood tag? But apparently it's just what people are doing to try and get the game out there. And then this is for 6 because of Shuko, so pretty good turn here. I was like, there's no way they're just passing on blocks here. I wonder, how do you feel about Flesh and Blood not really growing worldwide as much as people expected? I've had like few hour conversations about people from the industry. Let's just go ahead and pass here. And it doesn't make any sense. Community is growing slower than expected, maybe because the game is not really casual and fun to play if you're not competitive. It's probably not sustainable, but somebody has to bear the burden. I mean, so what? This is just 6. There's no effects here. It's to destroy my arsenal. Okay, so I'll just go to 32. I mean, I guess I should just arsenal this, right? Nah, let's sink and put the lava vein on the bottom, actually. That's a better arsenal card, I think. So, Mattis, like, that... Like, I feel like that's a conversation that, like, I could really sit down and have, like, on a, like, an extremely, like, granular level with someone. Like, just sit and talk about the game in general and, like how the game has grown and, like, where the game is going kind of thing. But I also agree with, like, your take on, like, people, like, this isn't really a casual game. It's not like Flesh and Blood's not really a casual game, and I don't really think it supports, like, a casual style player. The Command and Conquer is obnoxious there. Command and Conquer is actually really good there. It's good we didn't arsenal that sink below last turn. I mean, we're just blocking 6, right? Like, we're just over blocking here and then throwing Snatch. I don't know. Fatigue Katsu's value is really good, but decks that spike damage like Rhinar and Fai are its enemy. Yeah, Nathaniel, I was like, so like the funny part is like I was talking during our game about how like I wasn't even really like boarded to play into like a more like fatigue style deck, and I still like was able to win the game. And I just feel like that's kind of like Fai is tough to fatigue and like really like bully unless you like have some really strong hands really early. So it's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Just gonna take 2 here and see what we can do. I don't know if you have a case there. I think Fab has grown a lot. It's an indie company in New Zealand. Give it more years. Here's the thing: we have one of the biggest positions in Flesh and Blood in Europe, and it's hard to see Flesh and Blood economics to go from very popular to barely selling. I mean, I agree with it is tough to see. I agree with the idea that it's tough to see sets not selling and like people not buying a lot of the cards, like because I have heard a lot of that from like store owners and stuff like that. So I definitely hear what you're saying, Mattis, but I also think that like we're pretty early on like as a card game. So I think that like you like so somebody described this to me the other day, Mattis, is like we hit the Urza's saga of what of what the card game looks to be. And so like now I just like we had the Urza's like saga, Urza's legacy of like what this game is, except for like in Magic. And so like now like I think we're just seeing more of like a realistic buying pattern and structure of the game personally. So the question is, am I going to keep the brand or am I going to banish the rabble because of the upside? I mean, rabble could be a 0 for 4. This is a 0 for 4. This could be a 0 for 5. I'm gonna go for the higher upside play here. I'm gonna immediately cry myself to sleep here in just a second. I can feel it. When this is a blue. I mean, I guess even if it's a blue, it's what? It's only a 0 for 3 if it's a blue, so rabble and hit a blue off the top, really show him. Trent, that's the Zach special, man. That's what I do on stream, brother. That's what I do. Oh man. Okay. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and let this hit. We're definitely looking at. So Lava Burst is for 6. Salta Wound is gonna automatically. Or I'm sorry. Lava Burst is gonna be for 7 because of Shuko. Salta Wound is automatically gonna be for 5, 6, 7, maybe more, depending on what hits where. So we're going to go ahead and activate that now so we can get the blue out of our hand, which is exactly what I want to do here. I don't agree with the Urza's point. Most of the game, make it or lose it in 5-year lifespan. I'm in the industry for 15 years, and I've seen a lot of games rise and fall. I mean, so Mattis, I would be lying if I said that I had a lot of, like, super, like extensive knowledge of, like, games and, like, you know, long extended formats. Like, I don't, you know, like, Magic was, like, my game before this that I really got into. And I played a lot of Magic, you know, over the years. So, like, I just, like, you know, that's, like, my one thing and that I've really, like, been big into. So, I mean, you could be right. Like, I'm definitely not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong, man. I don't have enough knowledge on this topic to sit here and just be like, dude, you're wrong. Makes no sense. Like, it's just, I can't say that one way or another. But I mean, but I've heard a lot of people say a lot of really interesting things about the game and its growth patterns as a whole and like how the game looks moving forward. So I definitely should have blazed the Blaze Headlong there. I just completely missed out on a point. That was just me talking and not thinking. I'd already played a red card and I thought I hadn't, and that was just me being a boob. Was not a good play for me. I mean, Nathaniel's right. There is a lot of kitchen table we're not seeing. There are a lot of things that we don't see from behind the scenes, I feel like, as far as the game's concerned. So we have 3 Emberblade into 7 here. Flesh and Blood door is small. TCGs are already some kind of niche. I mean, that's true. Like TCG, so TCGs are like part of like the quote unquote nerd world, if you will. And let's just be honest, like video games are a much larger market than TCGs are. Like people buy new Call of Duty game every year, even though it never changes. Like it's like it hasn't changed in over a decade and people are still paying for the games. Like, and that's the realistic world that we live in. And like people just, you know, people like understand the market better, I think, in Flesh and Blood and like in card games in general and TCGs, and look to have better understanding of those kinds of things personally. I mean, yeah, all card games pretty much share the same player base. I feel like Fab has one of the strongest diehard communities, but LSS should really push more casual formats. LSS should definitely put more casual formats. I think they should put more casual formats, and the LL format being Eternal is going to help the game a lot. I've played games like Conquest, Star Wars, Destiny, Dice Masters, Keyforge in the past, and I feel like this game is going a lot stronger than all those other games. I mean, that could very well be the case, Trent. I honestly think LL format is going to be the biggest casual hit, if not the main format in time. LL format's going to be a huge staple of the game. 1,000%, dude. 1,000%. This is a really weird hand. This is like a super weird hand that I really don't know how to balance. I think we're just going to go buff and banish on the Soul Beat Strike here. This hand's really awkward and like doesn't show a lot of promise, but so this is for one go again. My opponent's just going to say no blocks. I honestly think I want to Art of War again, which is weird. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go Art of War again here. Ugh. Not great by any means. There is another one to search for. I couldn't remember if there was or not. Yeah, every other game I played before Fab died within a year. Basically, any FFG game. I'm not sure what FFG means. Happened in Card Fight Vanguard as well. It had the same flawed structured with releases. Company couldn't support 12 clans in a year, so they had to keep adding releases. Eventually ran into hard reset. Worked out for a while, but the game never recovered. Honestly, I think hero class design is short-sighted, even though it's cool. It is cool. What do you mean by short-sighted? Can you like expand on that a little bit? Activate 5 for free. This is for 3. Haha, free 3. Just over here rhyming it up. Y'all don't even know. I probably should have put one of those Phoenix Flames back into my deck. And my man goes to 9 here. And we're going to Arsenal the Sink Below. How many Phoenix Flames do I have over here? 2. So Brand, Pitch War Mars, Diplomacy, Emberblade, Activate Fai, or Lava Vein Loyalty, Activate Fai, E-Strike for 7. My opponent wants to keep their hand. Man, I'm missing messages left and right. Sorry, this guy's playing super fast, and I'm also like trying to have like a very like thoughtful discussion about like the life of a game, and like it's a lot for me to process right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Releasing one class type in a set is economic disaster for a secondary market, and I would bet for LSS as well. I feel like the buy-in to understand the fundamentals of the game isn't that hard for non-TCG players. Like the resource and defensive systems of the games makes it pretty easy to understand, in my opinion. So I do think that like the resources and like the like what you're talking about, like attacking and blocking, like it's a lot of it is like a very like simplistic like based style game, like where there's like not a ton that goes into it, like where you don't have to be like, oh, like yada yada yada, like kind of thing. Like it is like there's resources, like there's no colors, there's no differentiations, there's resources and there's costs, and then you attack and block for the most part. And like when you get into like things being more complicated, when you get into like Icelander and like things like that. So yeah, no, I definitely agree with that sentiment, Trent, 100%. It just doesn't work long term. Also, the LL system is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It seemed like a brilliant idea at first, but the more you dig into it, the more you see how flawed it is. I do agree with that, Mattis. At times you feel like it's too fast. At times you feel like it's too slow. So that's the funny thing is like I feel like I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Like LSS is just going to spin like forever going back and forth. And like they're going to have to speed up the process, and they're going to have to slow down the process. And this is going to be one of those things that's just going to continue to happen forever and ever and ever and ever. Like in my opinion, like it'll just be one of those things where like they're just going to continue to have to like do those things. Like what you're talking about. They're just going to have to continue to just like keep changing it, because like it felt like it took Oldham forever to leave the game. But it also felt like Lexi left as soon as she got popular. Like within like what 6 months or a year or something like that. Like, so I don't know. Like that is like the LL system is definitely a weird concept that I have never really like been able to like truly wrap my mind around. I feel like in like a long like extensive like how does this affect the course of a game over the course of like 10 years kind of thing. Don't think we'll ever have that many classes, LOL. We didn't even get a new class this year. Did we really not get a new class this year? We really not get a new class this year? That's weird to think about, that we didn't get a new class this year, honestly. It's very odd to think about. My opponent goes to 2, takes 1. Phoenix Flame for 2 because of Shuko. My opponent blocks 3. And then I come in for 3, which I'm sure they block. Oh, they have an item? Oh, no, they have a Faint Foreseen. Okay, that's fine, too. We're at a point now where, like, we're going to fatigue them. Now, like, I know that the pistol items here help them in, like, the whole not getting fatigue thing. So, like... But I think if the game continues on this way, we will just fatigue them at a certain point. Just kind of inevitable, it feels like. Flame Call Awakening to go get another Phoenix Flame. That's our last Phoenix Flame. Also, like, having 2 Phoenix Flames in your graveyard means you can never be fatigued. Also, just by the way, like, if you're not, like, if you're playing offense and attacking, it means, like, you'll just, like, never get fatigued. This is going to be for 1. They'll probably just go to 1 here, and then Snatch will get both of the cards out of their hand, or they'll have to give me, a defense reaction here. So they actually have a defense reaction here. Okay, so that leaves them with 1 card to pistol me twice, which means I can go to 18 here. Or if it's another defense reaction, they just, like, arsenal it here and, like, try to set up a 5-card turn cycle. Like, which is pretty good for them, honestly, all things considered. Let's see if we can set the flying kick up to end the game here. I don't know if we can, but we'll try our best here. Also, they are trying so hard to not power creep the game, and I get that, but it has to happen. Otherwise, we get at least 6 LL super fast heroes in a year. Yeah, I mean, that's also very true. I might be too drunk. I mean, Mattis, I don't think that, like, I don't think you're, like, crazy drunk or anything. Like, I think this is, like, an interesting discussion that, like, I think requires a lot of, like, time and thought to, like, really go into it. To, like, really before you can answer, like, all of these questions. Like, I just don't think there's an easy answer to a lot of these questions. And I'm pretty sure Flying Kick just ends the game here. Because Flying Kick's going to come in for 5. I love blue Flying Kick so much. This is another Sigil. It doesn't end the game. But does allow us to take every card out of their hand. Or no, I guess they take 2, go to 1. No, they're going to stay at 3 because they realize they need the life buffer. This is a weirdly good hand. Please don't be a blue. Wow, we actually hit a red. Let's go. Let's see. And Starvo went out the season he came in. Briar stayed forever, and Oldham did the same. We just got new playstyles for older classes because Assassin came out last year. Okay, yeah, so Starvo did go out super fast. I remember, like, when I started playing, Starvo was the talk of the town. Everybody was like, oh, like, this is the fastest hero in the history of ever, like, blah, 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 like, to ever, like, go out of the game and yada, 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 and so on and so on. So, like, I remember those conversations, like, being, like, like, happening quite regularly. Okay, we finally got them to where they had a no block. Jesus. 15 turns it took us, 188 damage, but we finally got there. I mean, that, like, if I'm being honest, like, Control Dash is kind of a buy for Fai. Like, it's not much of a game. Like, it's pretty favor. I mean, I'm not actually gonna say it's a buy because I think there are very few things that are a buy, but, like, that felt pretty good. All right, so let's try to catch up on their conversation here with Mattis here. And it's a mess that is flawed by design. This feels unhealthy for the game, and they are fixing it on the go, but I guess it's better than not doing anything. So I do agree with that. I would rather LSS say, hey, you know what? We should try to fix this and change things than not doing nothing at all, because I spent years playing Magic where they literally did nothing at all and it was miserable and like nothing ever changed for the better, and I hated that. Completely hated that. Still think the most of the game... Oh, it wasn't the LL system that made it too slow, it was bans. I mean, I think they did actively ban things more aggressively when I started. Or maybe they didn't, I don't know. Like, I remember like Autumn's Touch getting banned, which was really interesting. I still think that most of the games adapted to big ban lists to change with the meta for a reason. It's not like LSS says some super genius employees that figure something else out. I fancy ban lists. You have to give them a bit of grace with the LL system. They're having to tune the parameters of the system during exponential growth in real time. It's going to fluctuate. I think Justin also makes a very solid point there. Also, what's the Worlds? Fai is going to win the LL event. Starvo is not even that bad. Oh, you're talking about like the Living Legend event? Dude, I think dude, the Stubby Hammers Fai, that deck's insane. I think that deck is going to be absolutely insane in Living Legend format. I already have my foil Stubby Hammers ready to go, dude. Already. Also get that it's not like I want to be harsh, but you can see the almost perfect decision making is starting to show some cracks. The alternative is everyone complaining the meta is still just because Starvo and Chain are still running around. I mean, so like LSS is trying, and like Flesh and Blood is still in its infancy as a card game. Like Flesh and Blood is still a very young card game. Like, you know, you got to think like Magic has been around for like, you know, like what, 30 years at this point? I mean, Pokemon's been around for 20 or 30 years. Like Yu-Gi-Oh's been around for 20 or 30 years. Like all these games that have stood the test of time that are like still pretty popular to some degree, even though they are all considered a niche hobby. You know, it's not like golf, you know, like you don't win millions of dollars when you win like, you know, Worlds. Like, you know, what Michael Hamilton win $100,000 last year, which is a big, like it's a big amount of money. I'm not saying it's not, but at the same time, like I was having this conversation with my cousin Ben last night, who like really put this in a good perspective, by the way, who just said bop him. Absolutely bop him. Bop him, Ben. Let him know what's up. Ben was talking about this last night. Think about the comparison, the amount of people that watch esports compared to sports. And the analogy that he gave last night is that every year the Super Bowl, millions of people watch the Super Bowl who probably don't even like football. Like some of them don't even like football. I would say a lot of the people who watch the Super Bowl don't even like football, but they all watch the Super Bowl. Millions of people watch the Super Bowl every year. Like, because it's like one of the biggest things. Like the World Series, the men's and women's World Cup in soccer is one of the biggest watch like sporting events of like anytime in 4 years or whenever it happens. I'm not a big soccer fan, sorry. Rocket League is one of the most watched esports in the world, and the World Championship last year had 250,000 people watching it. That is a ton of people. That is a ton of people. It is a drop in the bucket comparatively to the rest of the world. All of that I'm bringing home to a certain point, which is to say, when you watch people watching these Flesh and Blood tournaments, they have a couple thousand people watching them. Worlds is this weekend. Worlds is going to be streamed this weekend, and I would say that there'll probably be a few thousand people watching it. I don't even know if we'll break 10,000 people watching Worlds this weekend. How crazy is that to think about? Like, how crazy is that to think about? Like we're just such a niche, and like I think the game is very early on. I think LSS, like the game was great when it first came out because it was just blocking, just attacking, and that's all there was, and people were trying to figure out how to get the most out of every hand. People are still trying to figure out how to get the most out of every hand. LSS is doing their best to not power creep the game, because when you power creep the game, certain heroes just become unplayable at a certain point. It's just what happens with games over time. Sorry, I went on a rant. I gotta have some water. When you take all of that and put it together, I think that LSS is doing the best that they can. And I know that you made the comment that like, you know, there's cracks in the system and things like that you can see. I think there's going to be cracks in the system. I think LSS truly cares about the game and the community and the people. And like, I really think that like I think Flesh and Blood's going to make it. Honestly, I truly believe that. And I'm not just saying that because I stream it and I want it to make it. I truly believe Flesh and Blood is going to make it. It's a great game. It has a great community. And LSS is doing everything they can to make the game better. And James White genuinely loves the game. That's why he goes to all these tournaments. And that's why you always see him talking to people and interacting. And so many people feel like they have such a personal relationship with James White. Okay, I'm done ranting. All right, I'm done ranting. Thank you, Trent. It's 2 weeks from now, not this weekend. Don't listen to me about the this weekend part. If World started tomorrow, that would be wild. Sorry about this. Also, sorry for like going on my soapbox. Welcome to my TED Talk. Autumn's ban was the most big brain move. They understood that consistency was the biggest problem. 100% agree, Mattis. 100% agree. I did not at the time because I hadn't been playing long enough, but 100% agree. It's going to show cracks, though. We can't expect perfection. If there was a perfect film mode, that game would be blowing up every other game out of the water. Absolutely. Yeah, Justin's 100%, like 100% on top of that. I get that. 19 employees making tens of millions out of nowhere without many processes. Perfecting gets hard. I'm on the same boat. I empathize. I don't know if that's spelled right with them, but they need to speed up. I mean, yeah, no, like, I think you spelled that right. I'm also not great at spelling, to be honest, but I think you spelled that right. I completely empathize with their situation as well. So I root for LSS. I fear that the secondary market crashing and the game being stagnant in a way will postpone the growth hard. It could. I'd be lying if I said I knew enough about the whole secondary market thing to like really have a comment or opinion about that kind of stuff. I absolutely love your input on this. I love your passion for this game, and I really enjoy your streams. Thanks for what you do. Well, dude, Trent, thank you, man. Like, you guys being here and hanging out, like, you know, like makes this possible. Like, you know, you got like the people in the chat and the people that come and hang out in my streams and make streaming so much fun for me. Like, I have a great support system both inside of Flesh and Blood and outside of Flesh and Blood. Like, I love everybody who watches my streams. I love everybody who hangs out. Like, you guys are all great. And then outside of that, like, Carly is the single most supportive person in the world. Like, Carly is amazing. She's the only person in the world that I know that would be okay with somebody traveling all the time to play cards as much as I do, and just kind of like being there to support me when I'm up and when I'm down. And so, like, I mean, my support system for this, like, for playing games is absolutely amazing, and Carly's like the biggest part of that. I'm getting this married this weekend, and I'm going to Barcelona for my honeymoon. So I really hope it's this weekend. Dude, Trent, congratulations, man. Dude, that's exciting, man. Congrats on getting married, dude. I hope you guys have a great time in Barcelona, dude. I have never been to Barcelona, but like I would love to go at some point. Like, traveling the world is definitely like a passion of mine. It's something I want to do at some point. And I think that's like one of my biggest pulls towards playing cards a lot, as opposed to like playing video games, is that like cards just allows me to travel and see things and go see people. So, dude, congrats, Trent. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. I love James White and also love the game. It's just I feel like this game deserves way more. I get that, Mattis. You have a strong opinion because you're passionate, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, dude. I completely get it, brother. Nathaniel says definitely not 2 weeks. It's going to be funny when Fab outlasts Lorcana. I freaking hope so. Lorcana is a money sink. Anyway, I know that people like Lorcana, but I have a very negative opinion about Disney and their whole take on making a card game. It literally feels like Mickey Mouse just wants my money. Donation button win. We need to make sure you get to do this more. Well, Mattis, I appreciate that, man. I mean, if you guys ever want to donate, you can hit !donate and donate to the stream anytime. I do appreciate that, man. You guys are awesome. It probably will, but made too much money on Lorcana, so I can't say anything bad. I know lots of people who just got into Lorcana to flip it and make money off of it. I know a lot of people who felt that way. So I get that. Okay. All right. We've ranted, we have played games, we have talked about a lot of things tonight. Tonight has been one of the most interesting streams I think I've ever had, and this has been really interesting. So, all right, that's it for tonight. I want to touch again on the whole, like, you know, members being able to vote on the poll and like picking the decks that I'm playing from week to week. So I'm going to start that poll tomorrow. No, guys, there's never any pressure to be a member of the channel or like, you know, give any money. Like, being here and watching me is like more than enough support, and I appreciate that. But I mean, obviously money allows me to do this more and more and more kind of thing. So anyway, I'm going to put up that poll tomorrow for everybody who is members. If you guys want to be a part of that and vote on what I'm going to play next week, I'll probably put that up around like lunchtime for me. So 12 Eastern time. And then I think I'll be back for some streams this weekend. This is the first weekend where we've not had cards to travel to or do anything for. So be back playing some cards this weekend and playing some Fortnite and games with friends and family and stuff like that. So guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I had to figure out what's exclamation point. Oh. Here. Sorry, let me... Let's see if it comes through. There's the... Yeah, sorry. Mattis, buddy, I completely forget that, like, you know, it's not always, like, the first language for a lot of people, so I apologize for that. But I put both the links in there. Trent, you can become a member. If you're watching on YouTube, man, all you got to do is scroll down just a little bit. And then there's a button that says join, little white button right under my name that says join. You can click on that. And then there's 2 tiers of support that I have there. There's a $2.99 level and a $4.99 level, and they both come with their own interesting things. Anytime you sign up for being either one of those, any level of being a member, you guys instantaneously get access to all of my members only content. So I'm going to be honest, I don't have a ton of members only content, but I'm working on getting more put out there. I'm really trying to pick the best games that I play, and even some of the games that like you guys don't get to see on YouTube that I share up there and kind of post for you guys to see. And it's also a little bit more of a in-depth look at like my personal life and stuff like that. So guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. I will see you guys this weekend, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Take it easy, guys.